Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Tabletop Notch. We're minus one of our regulars tonight. Anthony will be rejoining us next week, but we have... Oh, I ripped this. There will be a guest this week. Anthony will be back next week. We'll introduce the guests as they come in. Happy to have him. In addition to that note I just said, we are weekly now.
Yeah!
We're very happy to be going weekly and doing this game more and more. Maybe tri-weekly by next week, and then we'll just...
That's 3 times a week?
Next week? No, tri-weekly in the way that it's like every 3 weeks. So we'll...
Not tri-weekly.
I'll definitely forget that everything that happens then.
So we'll roll the intro, and then we'll hop into a recap, unless anybody else has any notes. Hi, Anthony, if you're watching. I think he was in here early.
He was in chat a second ago. Oh, yeah, he said, wish I was there.
Aww. Roll that intro.
We don't care that you're gone.
Intro. And we're back. In Chapter 11, Last Call in the South City, Orba and Beezaura formulated a plot to gain entry into the home of Finbar Otto, whose mining contract we hoped to pilfer before it was too late. Posing as city officials, we claimed to be inspecting homes in the Rose District for suspicious items that could be triggering the fires that have popped up around the city. Mr. Otto heard our concerns and allowed us into his study, where he handed over documents he had recently acquired for Orba to inspect, but no contract. However, while making conversation during this process, Finbar alluded to his upcoming trip out of Urnchupa, and with a little nudging in the right direction, we persuaded him to unlock a private stash of papers. With Iris's prize acquired and empty promises to Mr. Otto abound, Beezaura and Orba headed in the direction of the courier service to expedite the contract to the Mullifair estate. Out on the city streets, Safira played the waiting game. Camped out near Fable's Repose, she looked for any sign of the author Samuel Precus, but no one that she recognized wandered by until Atok Massif arrived to pay for permission to post something on a nearby notice board. There was just enough time for a quick peek at the poster before it was snatched away, though she did a quick scan for the culprit. Safira thought it best to keep her head down, given her wanted status. Across town, at Touch and Go, Graven spoke to the healer about what he wanted in exchange for his prized chess piece. In an effort to further his medicinal studies, Michael needed a test subject to try out a specialized healing gel that he believed was of particular benefit to individuals with magically sustained injuries. Graven agreed, and they set to work immediately, though the procedure had only just begun when Graven suddenly passed out on the operating table. He came to on a mountainside, obscured in heavy fog, and emerging from the mist came a Goliath woman that Graven believed to be his mother. As the weather worsened, she led him to a cabin and instructed him to enter. Grasping the door and pulling as a heavy snowfall began, the world around Graven warped until the voices became unfamiliar, and with a bright flash, he regained consciousness inside the healer's hut, where his hands were firmly enclosed around Michael's neck. With some kind of outside force working against him, Graven managed to pry himself away and tend to Michael's injuries. Fearing additional complications, Michael refused to continue the experiment, but gifted Graven the necessary materials if he wished to try it again later on his own, along with the chess piece that he promised. Graven made ready for his departure, but not before asking Michael to deliver a letter to Pulnik that detailed their activities since arriving in Urnchupa, in the hopes that it might allay his suspicions. Erland received Graven in the thoroughfare, and they headed to the city gates, where on the way an anonymous man solicited Erland's help, having heard that his relations with Robert Bastille had soured. Erland feigned interest and agreed to meet the man later in the day, and with less than half an hour to spare, we hastened to reunite with the party. Though he kept himself publicly distanced from us, Robert upheld his end of the bargain, and a horse-drawn carriage was ready and waiting at the stables. Climbing aboard, we had only just traversed the main bridge when Robert and a pack of his men appeared to warn us never to return. And with the city fading into the distance, we came upon a familiar sight, a Fleet of the Broken Crown checkpoint. But moments earlier, Graven had explained that due to Michael Ainsley's experimentation, he needed to be kept unconscious, lest the magic seep into his bloodstream. With a Goliath body resting limp inside the carriage, we asked ourselves, how would we explain Graven's state to the officials at the checkpoint? How much time would Robert be able to buy us to intercept Jillian's captors? And was it possible that despite everything going on, the biggest threat to our success was our own suspicions of each other? We find out now on Chapter 12 of A Peek Beneath the Veil.
No comment.
A light crunching noise accompanies the wheels of the carriage as they continue to turn over on the dry dirt and gravel that makes up most of this well-trafficked route coming out of Urnchupa. And quickly coming into view, the colors of the Broken Crown are splashed across flags, banners, tents that are set up, not as big as the checkpoint you came through initially. Though the scope of it seems less, there are a significant number of men sort of piled around this thoroughfare entrance through the checkpoint. Where there had previously been lines of some order that allowed you passage through the checkpoint, you saw there was like a business line and a civilians line that were sort of entered through. Here you see only a mass of wagons, horses, and travelers all clustered around this like central point, with broken-crowned riders sort of patrolling perpendicular to the road. They're sort of riding off to the left and off to the right to make sure that nobody attempts to go around the checkpoint. You guys continue to approach in the wagon, Graven in the back, Safira and Beezaura sitting up at the front.
Is there any seeming order to the wagons, or is it just they're being funneled into sort of?
Make a perception check. As you stick your head out the window.
Good start to the day.
I fought for that dice too. 6.
6. So you peek your head out the window, and no order that you can discern. It seems a little chaotic, honestly. You're still a little ways off from it at the moment, but it also doesn't seem like it's not like one part's moving and then the other part's moving. It's like a big cluster of people all around one point.
Can I, how close are we in the wagon to the cluster of
Probably
wagons?
200 feet off, and you're moving forward.
Can I
yeah.
kind of slow them down
So you can go
and just to kind of communicate with the people?
And the horses
back
kind
of the
of
wagon?
turn
So
into
then
a trot.
Yeah, slow them down and then they have windows so they can kind of see what's going on, right?
Yeah, there's windows in the carriage.
Yeah, so the situation with the giant Goliath that we've tied up and that is passed out in the back of this carriage.
Yes.
Yes.
Do we have any ideas for how we're going to handle that?
It isn't illegal to be carrying prisoners.
Fuck's sake.
Is it illegal to have someone sleeping in your carriage?
No. But this was my idea. If someone's got a blanket or an extra cloak, we can put it over him so they don't see that he's bound, which maybe they won't ask questions. And then we say he's drunk and he's sleeping.
That's not a bad idea. I was also considering turning myself into maybe a child Goliath, like I did last time, and just say that he's my papa, and I'm like watching over him, and that way I can speak for him pretty easily.
Sure, I think that's a good idea.
So, why would 2 half-elves and a halfling be traveling with a daughter and a drunk father?
Orba proudly raises her hand like she has a really good suggestion. When we went to the Fleet of the Broken Crown checkpoint in Orange Chupa, they gave Graven a contract to go up into the Shaki Mountains and hunt down a beast. And I figured that would be a good excuse for us to be traveling north.
Like we're his crew.
That's a real thing that he has a contract.
Yes, with the
beast?
Broken Crown, it's not like an official, they didn't give us a paper or anything, but there's a beast. It's a panther with tentacles on its back, and it was 400 gold for the contract.
And
Brilliant.
where is this panther?
In the Shaki Mountains. They didn't specify a location.
I think
Said
that's
it was
a good
up
idea.
near the Shaki Mountains.
Oh, okay, sorry.
And the paper doesn't have his real name on it.
It does. They didn't give us any kind of actual
Right.
contract.
Everyone.
Yeah, he just wrote it down after they
Yeah.
told him.
I think just for the purposes of safety and being discreet, I think we should use not our real names from now on.
Would you like to be Jamie again?
I was going to say, Jamie Fulltash it is.
Sure.
Though last time I said that, the locals knew that he was a farmer.
Foltash? From the last name, right?
Yes.
Change the last name. We'll just give you first.
Alright, I'll stick with Jamie. And
Sarah?
hopefully he can ask for information.
Oh, what do you want to call me?
Uh,
Give me a name. Any name.
Julie.
Okay, Julie. I'm Julie.
Julie?
Classic
And what about
Goliath
me?
name.
Huh?
You can't name
You want
yourself?
I
No.
gave her Julie.
Becca. I don't know.
Fine.
You asked.
Becca, Julie,
Great.
Sarah, Jamie. Nobody forget that.
Wait, no. Hold on.
That's a big
Julie,
ask.
Becca, Sarah, Jamie. Great. This is going to go very well. And what is the Goliath's name?
Google.
It's still Google? Okay.
Sure.
Well, it's unforgettable.
So, just to be clear,
Yes.
Google and his daughter Julie
You know.
hired.
Google.
Hired.
his
Hold on.
child
What?
That's just.
So Google
what's
and his
the
daughter
difference?
hired Becca, Sarah, and Jamie to hunt a panther with tentacles in the Shaki Mountains.
Yes, I don't think we were technically hired though. Just say that we were informed of the
Oh my
contract.
God.
It's basically anybody who wants to
We've
volunteer
agreed to
themselves.
split
And we've
Yeah.
agreed to split the.
Yes, the guy who gave us
Carriage
the
is still
said-
moving.
Yeah.
You're getting very close at this point. Are you stopping to?
Oh,
have a
No,
little
don't
conversation?
stop. Don't
Yeah, okay.
stop. That will arouse suspicion.
Do you want to use my cloak to cover him
Yes,
up?
whatever extra cloaks.
I have like an extra cloak. So
Yeah.
that I think is
The one
back
that
in
you
the
just took off,
carriage,
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can that, if Orba grabs what she took off just most recently,
And I'm just
Does
gonna
that
kind
cover?
of quietly.
Whose cloak is it?
It's mine because we bought an extra cloak.
I thought
It
he
wouldn't
was
cover his
mine
whole
too.
body. You bound him around his midsection.
Yeah,
It would
so
cover
we cover
enough
the
of his
binding.
torso that you couldn't see the binding.
Oh.
His feet would stick out.
Orba takes off her cloak and covers like his feet area.
Sure.
Too, just for extra.
Two cloaks can cover.
And so the carriage has like 2 seats that are like this. So Graven and I are sitting next to each other.
Yeah, there's like a foot in. There's two benches that are
Yeah.
facing each other.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
with a thing in the middle. With an
And
opening.
so are they? So if I'm sitting on a bench next to Graven, are we like moving backwards or? Are we
I don't know
moving
who
side-
took which.
I'm sitting next to Graven so that if he's strangling.
Yeah, so you guys would be moving backwards, I guess. Yeah.
Great, and then Orba sitting in front of us, moving forward.
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'm gonna then stand up so that we can lie Graven down like a drunk person.
Sure.
And I'm gonna sit next to Orba.
Sure.
And then,
Sort of a little bit of shuffling around
can
inside.
I call back kind of quietly?
Yes.
The contract. Can you give it to me?
No, there was no physical.
There's no
contract.
physical
We were just
contract.
informed by word of mouth.
So if we
I
say we're going to
misunderstood.
do this with the Goliath, they'll know what we're talking about.
Yes. Well, if it's been communicated between branches, but say that we talked to. I have her name.
You guys are getting very close now.
Yep.
Finish this.
Hold
and then-
on. I have her name. Sorry. Woodwild. Sergeant Woodwild at the Broken Crown Command Center in Orange Chupa. I
Okay.
believe that's her name.
Okay.
And I'm gonna quickly turn into like a Goliath pre-teen adolescent. I don't know how
Sure.
big they get in comparison to me as me.
It would be a little bigger than you.
Even a like.
How tall is
skinny-
Orba?
She's 6 feet, I think.
Yeah, I mean a little bit taller than you. You're trying to be a Goliath of a similar age to you, like a teen or younger.
Or
than
a little
that.
younger, whatever
Yeah, it
matches
wouldn't-
my size.
Yeah, it wouldn't be significantly bigger or smaller than you if it was like a 13, 14-year-old Goliath.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna be like a female Goliath.
Sure.
Alright.
Orba like takes a moment to, as the carriage is pulling up quickly, like takes a
Yep.
moment to cast the spell, and their appearance,
That's how I
you
do
see
it.
it change in front of you.
Are you ready?
Yes, I believe so. Who will be speaking for us, please?
Well, I'm driving the carriage. Probably me.
Okay, doke.
Lovely.
And as the carriage gets closer, you notice that the travelers in the wagons, they don't seem to be waiting their turn. They just seem to be waiting. And there's blankets set out on the ground. There's boxes, some like logs that have been upturned, used as makeshift seating. And a few of the Broken Crown guards are kind of wandering up and down throughout the civilians, sort of giving cursory glances at people's belongings. They're not looking through people's stuff, but just making sure nobody's causing any trouble. And you guys kind of pull up to this, and you guys have pulled up to the outermost area of this big mass of
And
people.
everyone's just
waiting.
there. You think no one's allowed in?
Possible.
I'm not sure yet.
Is there anyone like immediately outside of our carriage? You said like sitting on bench. If you said people are like
Sure.
sitting
If you,
around.
yeah, if you guys sort of moved up
So
and
can
you
I-
stopped the horses.
Can I ask somebody sitting there, like, what's going on?
You looking for a Broken Crown soldier or just a civilian?
Just a civilian.
Sure, yeah. There's a man. There's like a man and his wife sitting at. They've just got 2 logs set and they're sort of eating something sitting there.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Why are we all just waiting here?
Due to an ongoing situation, nobody's allowed through the checkpoint unless you want to continue on foot. But can't let go of my goods. And he points at his wagon. So we're waiting it out.
Do you happen to be aware of what the ongoing situation is?
They said they found something. Wouldn't give me any more information than that.
Something.
Contraband material, maybe. Stopped it.
How long have you been waiting here?
Probably. And he looks to his wife, and she's about an hour or so.
We don't have time for this.
We need to get somebody's attention.
Okay. Can
Good luck. And the guy sort of goes back to
Thank
what
you.
he's doing.
Can I look around and see if I can't like flag down a Broken Crown? soldier?
Yeah, there's a couple of people patrolling, and one of them sees you, but he kind of doesn't go over to you. You would walk over to him. He doesn't seem like he's going to be flagged down by you.
If they're not letting people through, we're going to need some sort of more urgent business than hunting a panther.
What more urgent business do you
I
suggest?
don't know.
I don't want to make a bigger lie that might.
Well,
I
then
don't want
otherwise
to
we'll
draw
be
any
sitting
attention
here.
to
And sort of coming around the other side of the wagon, that guy that sort of saw you briefly kind of leans on the side of the wagon. He sort of had made his way around. Yeah. You cold.
Yeah, hiya. I'm just wondering, how long do you think before people can pass through?
Till they track down the smugglers, I suppose.
The smugglers.
Huh?
What were they smuggling?
Can't tell you that. Broken Crown business and all. Somebody tried to smuggle goods through, and while we were looking at it, they took off. We're tracking them down, sent a party to hunt them down. When they return, they'll start letting people through. Of course, you can go through if you want to go on foot.
How long ago did they leave to find them?
A couple of hours.
Do you know? Right. Thank you. And I'm just gonna kind of turn back to.
You can talk to Captain Bellswile if you like, but he's going to tell you the same thing. He sort of continues.
What if we made the Panther an urgency? Like, we need to track him down because he's after them or something.
Well, I mean, 400 gold is not like no small payment. I would imagine it's been causing quite some trouble if we were saying that that is our purpose. I think we should talk to the man in charge.
Okay.
No?
Remind me his name. I forgot.
Bells.
It was
Wild.
Bellswile. Yeah.
Bellswile.
Bell's wild.
Oi!
Bellswile.
Nice.
W-I-L-E.
Let's
He's
flag
walked
down the
off. He's
captain.
not still there.
Can I get off the carriage and
Yep.
kind of? Is there a way to like kind of secure it, or is it gonna be okay?
I mean, the horses are fairly well trained. They're not going to
Yeah.
skedaddle without, somebody.
Okay. So can I kind of see from what I'm looking at where would be like a captain?
Yeah, you could navigate your way through. I mean, it's not so tightly packed that you can't get through. I mean,
Yeah.
people have clearly set up camp here. I mean, they're
Okay.
waiting. So, you can make your way through towards the sort of the checkpoint proper, the gate,
Okay.
and you can make your way up there. And you start to see a number of men in uniform.
Yeah.
And, you come up, and there are like 3 or 4 men at the gate. One of them seems to be wearing slightly nicer armor. And they're sitting around on a couple of sort of wooden benches, and they look like they're playing cards.
Great. Okay.
So this is quite a bit further away from us now.
If you haven't gone with her, yes, she's like another 50 feet forward, or a little more than that.
Then can I walk up to the guy in the nicer armor?
And you see him, and he's kind of like picking through a card, and he picks one up, and he kind of sort of tosses it into the middle.
Captain Bellswild, is that your name?
Yes, can I help you?
Yes, nice to meet you. My name's Sarah. I'm with a group of people. We've been sent on a contract to hunt the panther up in the mountains. I'm wondering if maybe we could pass through. It seemed like kind of an urgent situation, and we'd like to be able to.
Where did you say you were coming from?
We're coming from Antisuyu. Or Anchupa, sorry.
Coming from the whole continent of Antisuyu, are you?
Yes. More specifically, Oranchupa.
Look around you. Do you see the shoddy, lawless walls of Oranchupa surrounding us?
No, I do not.
No. Well, out here, we have a certain degree of law and order, and nobody's allowed through until we come back with the smugglers. And he sort of puts down another card and picks through them.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna turn around and kind of like walk back and
Cool.
to meet
As
you
you're
guys.
heading back sort of through the, crowded kind of area, number of wagons and carriages, you overhear a sort of heated conversation happening between 2 of the Broken Crown guards.
Yeah.
And that's where we'll have Billy come in and join us. Welcome to the table.
Hello.
So you see these 2 Broken Crown guards sort of, seems like they're arguing, and you're able to walk close enough to them to hear it, because they're not, so they're intently sort of talking in a way that they're not aware of their surroundings.
I won't stop you if you try to go. But I'm already on Captain Bellswile's shit list, so I can't go with you. Because if I go, he won't just have my job, he'll have my head.
I can't do this alone. I need help. I need allies. It's not the easiest place to go. The creeping ravine. It's.
I understand. I feel for you, I do. If it was my brother, I would feel the same way.
I understand.
But I know I owe you a favour, but I can't do this for you. I'm
Alright.
sorry.
It's fine. I guess I'll go alone.
Good luck.
Thank you.
He sort of turns and heads back towards the main area of the checkpoint. You see this conversation happening.
And okay, so can I kind of walk up to him?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, sorry, sir. My
Yes.
name's Sarah. I couldn't help but over here. You said you were headed to the Creeping Ravine?
Yes, I am.
In which direction might that be?
It's like west. It wouldn't be through the
West.
checkpoint.
Okay.
If that's.
You said you needed allies to help you with something.
Yes, but it's dangerous. I would not ask you alone to come with me to help.
And if I weren't alone?
How many people are you with?
A few.
Do you have experience fighting, hunting, searching, looking for people?
Well, I'm a ranger, so yes, quite a bit.
You're a ranger.
Yes.
So am I. How many people did you say you have?
Well, besides me, there are 3 of us that are serviceable, if that makes any sense.
Okay, what I am asking you to do is very dangerous. People could get hurt, people could die. You're willing to take this chance? For what?
We need to get through the checkpoint now.
Why? What is so urgent?
Well, what is so urgent that we need to risk our lives?
This morning, this group of men, they tried to smuggle contraband through the checkpoint.
Yes.
Before they are caught, they flee on horseback through the creeping ravine. Captain Bells, while he sends a group of soldiers after them, they do not come back. He sends another group to find the first group of soldiers, including my brother. And they do not come back. And now he will not send any more until they come back, but it has been hours, and I am sure that something bad has happened. Captain Bellswell will not let me go alone. My friend, he will not come with me, so I need allies to come with me to bring my brother back. He is all I've got left in this world.
I can understand. I'm sorry that that's happened to you. I hope that he's alright.
Now that I've told you my business, will you tell me yours?
Well, I'm in a similar situation. A friend of mine has been taken hostage.
Sorry to hear that. And you must get through the checkpoint to get to your friend?
Yeah.
Okay, I would like to meet your group.
Sure, follow me.
You follow her, and you sort of weave your way through the crowd, and sort of moving. A couple people try to get your attention, and they're like, "How much longer is it gonna be?" And like a couple people as you're walking, kind of wave them off, and you head back, and you arrive back at the carriage where you guys are waiting.
Who are you?
So,
My name is Dubravko Magomat, and your names are?
Becca.
Hi, I'm Julie.
Sarah.
Jamie.
And you see 2 half-elves, a young Goliath woman, and a small halfling woman.
This is quite a diverse group of people, and no one has a last name.
Fultash.
Yeah, no last name for me. Look, I think we can help each other. And I'd like to help you find your brother. Is there any way, do you have enough power to get us through the checkpoint?
Hello, yes.
What's
can you fill us
going
in
on
What's
here?
happening?
Well, his brother has gone missing. He was sent after the smugglers. He had to chase them and he hasn't come back for hours. He needs help finding his brother. We need help getting through the checkpoint. So I thought maybe this might be our only way through.
And he's in like full Broken Crown regalia, right?
Yeah, like
Would it be, and is...
it's like Broken Crown Ranger's gear, which isn't like metal armor. It's like some leather armor with sort of the purple and black strips. You know, it clearly signifies that he's.
And you said half-elf, right?
He is half-elf.
So is that weird to have a half-elf in the Broken Crown?
No, that wouldn't be unusual. So the Broken Crown's fairly diverse. They would take anybody that was willing to fight for them.
Where did your brother go?
He follows a group of smugglers to the creeping ravine, and he does not come back for many hours. It's a dark, dangerous place. There are carnivorous plants and possibly some dark magic. It is not a safe place to be.
And what were these smugglers smuggling?
You know. Do you want to tell them?
No.
Okay, then you don't have to.
How about this? I will tell you what they were smuggling if you tell me Becca, Jamie, Julie, and Sarah why you really need to get through the checkpoint.
Well, I did tell you why we really need to get through the checkpoint. I didn't give you very much information, but it was in fact true.
Our Goliath friend who is passed out drunk was hired to kill a panther with some tentacles, and we were all hired to...
Right, well that too.
What did you tell him?
Mate, you know, listen, I think we should all trust each other.
Safira, what did you tell him?
We have a friend that's been taken hostage,
Safira.
which is true.
I thought it was Sarah.
It's a nickname when I get mad at her.
Make a deception check.
That took 2 goddamn seconds.
Remember when you told Steve you wanted
I
wine tasting?
Oh, wow.
It felt a lot like that. Y'all.
I mean, if it wasn't obvious enough, it's very clear that they're lying. So you can decide if that bothers you or not. But
How about this? I will make it simple. I can get you through the checkpoint, no problem. You have to help me find my brother.
And there's no other way through the checkpoint. We have gold.
Gold will do you no good. Captain Belswile is a very annoying man of honor.
And your brother is north?
He is
west.
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 Yes.
It's not through the Creeping Ravine is not through the checkpoint.
Right.
So we
He's
do
saying-
that before we go.
That's
Right, so it's going to take us off of our timeline
it's
a
not
little
far. Creeping Ravine.
Yeah, unless we get in a
Look,
fight.
There's no other way. How long do you think this will take, friend?
It would take about 15-20 minutes on horseback to get there,
Oh.
and then you don't know what's there.
But then we have to
Right.
find the brother.
Well, that's much less time than spending
Yeah,
several
sitting
hours
here.
waiting here.
Potentially, yeah.
Also, I would like to say, it's his brother. I think that we should help him.
Yes, I
Family?
agree with you.
For fuck's sake.
Some people have it, you know.
Okay.
Not everybody, but some people.
Like your father, who is drunk in the back of your wagon?
He's
Bit of a long story there.
I bet.
And I pat Graven's head very lightly.
I say we block out an hour. We'll give you an hour of our time and try to find your brother.
I accept.
And where's he standing at this particular moment? Just like outside of our
Yeah,
carriage?
standing
or-
outside the carriage with, he's kind of next to Safira, and the three of you are kind
Orba's just
of in the carriage, yeah.
But whether we get him or not, we get through the checkpoint.
Will someone be guarding our carriage while we're gone? Can you get one of your men to guard our carriage while we're gone?
We're not taking the carriage? We can't take the
I
carriage?
assume it's difficult terrain.
Getting through the
It's
ravine.
impossible to
yes.
get through the
Ravine.
ravine in a carriage.
It's a
But I
wooded
do
area.
have a friend who owes me a favor. He will watch your carriage while we are gone.
And he's trustworthy.
He is.
With Graven.
Your drunk father will be fine.
But we promised. What if...
Would you like to stay with him?
We also promised that we'd go through the checkpoint.
Look, if anything, I doubt that they have no interest in doing anything with him.
But what if he
They're
does...
soldiers. They can't. There's
I
no
don't
reason.
know
They
if
have
this
no-
is a good idea or not, but should one of us stay behind?
If we're looking to get in a fight, none of us should stay behind.
Look, whoever these smugglers are, they sent troops after them. Those troops haven't come back. Either those troops are dead or something's. I mean, this is. There'll be a fight.
Get your friend.
You can flag him down. His name's Preston. He's one of your friends.
Preston,
Yep.
I need you to do me that favor that you owe me. This one's easier. All you have to do is guard this carriage of these people while we are gone looking for my brother. Can you do it?
That's it, I just have to look at the carriage.
Yeah. Don't let anyone near it. Don't let anyone take anything from it.
Don't
Including-
let anyone inside it.
Is there something inside it that shouldn't be inside it?
No, it's just my papa. Please, just watch over him, please. He's taking a nap. He shouldn't be any problems. Usually he's out for a couple of hours. He should...
Make a persuasion check with advantage, which means you roll twice and
Okay.
take the higher number.
Which one is
It's
that?
the d20.
This guy.
Because he does owe you a favor, so...
13.
So you have to roll it twice.
Yeah, roll twice and take the higher number.
So 13 plus 15.
15. So kind of looks at you, and you can tell he's uncomfortable at the proposition, but...
Alright. I'll take a look at the carriage. No one goes inside. I'm gonna have to walk back and forth to not look like I'm just standing here. But I'll keep an eye on the carriage. Go find him.
Thank you.
This might not come up, but our friend is a little drunk in the back seat.
Yeah?
If he wakes up, he's sometimes a bit of an angry drunk. Don't hurt him, just knock him back unconscious, it'll be fine.
Well, I'm not gonna knock him unconscious.
Thank you.
But
You could if you wanted.
if he doesn't do anything, I won't do anything.
Lovely.
Shouldn't be able to. Right. Can I kind of go into the carriage to get my bow and quiver and stuff?
Yeah,
and,
you can take a moment to
under
get
the
your
pretense
things.
of- yeah. So, and can I kind of examine Raven's he's pretty.
I mean, he
tightly
tested
bound.
the
He
bindings,
tested it. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of tuck the cloak around him.
Sure, you make like a little cocoon.
And then I have someone has a little knife, right?
Yeah, you would have a utility knife.
So
on
can
you,
I
sure.
have can I
You also
put the
have other
knife
blades.
kind of next to him so that if he needed to use it,
Sure.
you know what I mean?
To cut himself free, presumably.
Well, if
he-
something happened while we were gone.
Are we seeing her do this?
You saw her get into the carriage. You can't
yeah,
really see what
you
she's
can
doing.
pop your head in. I mean, I was gonna come out and talk to you about it. But
Sure. Are you trying to have that not be seen by?
yeah, I was just I mean, I don't want it to seem like he's gonna do anything crazy, but I also want to
Make a stealth check.
Okay. Oh, 10.
10. Okay, so I mean, Preston's sort of standing guard, and you can see you kind of go in and sort of tuck the Goliath, but you're able to do it in a way that doesn't look like you're placing a knife on him. Like you know, he looks like you're tucking in the cloaks or whatever. He doesn't say anything.
Erland, can you help me with this?
Jamie.
Who?
No, that was.
Actually, Erland just doesn't respond.
I quit.
He just doesn't respond. He just keeps milling about outside the carriage.
Sorry, Jamie, I'm never gonna remember your name. Can you help me?
So what's that?
I just need your help. Really
Sorry, what?
quickly. Jamie, can you please get in the carriage?
Oh, yes.
You guys get in.
And then can I kind of whisper to him, look, I don't know if it's a good idea or not, but there's a knife next to him if he should need to use it to defend himself. I doubt that he will. I doubt that he will even wake up.
Why are you leaving sharp objects around a possessed Goliath?
He's not possessed.
He seems rather possessed if you tried to kill Mike Ainsley.
He's not okay.
Why are we giving him weapons?
He tested the
Yeah,
binding.
so let's not give him something to cut out of the binding that we tied him in with.
As they're arguing, Orba comes up with a piece of paper that she's written a little note on, and she's stuffing it into the cloak or the rope or something that's visible as soon as you see Graven sleeping.
Sure. Yeah.
And it says, how do you pronounce my god again? Nukelke?
Yeah, New Kelke.
Nukelke, please watch over this snoozy Goliath. He is dear to me. And I just
Sure. You
tap
leave him
it
a little
in.
note.
Take the knife back. Do you want him to get cut loose and to come back to
And outside of the carriage, you're seeing people pile into this carriage,
And
and
so I take the knife, kind of. Fuck's sake.
Graven's bag is also still
Yeah,
in here. I mean, he has.
I know, but he's.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I'm
Can
gonna
I-
take his bag.
Can I be outside still with him?
Sure. Yeah.
So, how was your brother?
Oh my god.
Just to get a visual.
Sure. How old is he?
Yes.
Yeah. How old am I? He is 38.
58.
38.
30.
Okay. Can I kind of come? Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Is he a skilled fighter?
He's better than me. So if he is lost, we have problem.
Huh. Yes. And how long ago do you say he left?
The last group of soldiers left about 4 hours ago.
It's been some time.
Any creatures you know that are out there?
I've never been, so I don't know what is inside. I just know that there is apparently dark magic and big scary trees.
Scary trees. Interesting.
Can I kind of come out of the carriage and Well, I don't think we should waste any time, do you?
I did not.
Can I take?
Yeah, you've heard of. I mean, you've heard tales. There's a lot of sort of like ghost stories about the creeping ravine, dark magic. The plants come to life. They, it's hard to tell what's true and what isn't.
Yeah.
Can I take Graven's bag with me?
Yeah,
I can carry it. Like.
I think so. I don't think he
I don't
has
want his
anything
like
heavy.
weapons, but.
You're leaving his weapons, but taking the rest of the stuff in his bag. Sure.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, if you don't take his weapons, I think you could carry
yeah.
it.
Orba
And
slings.
is she leaving his shield too? Because that's heavy. You wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I can't carry that, but
Can
I'll
I-
take his bag.
Can I pop my head into the wagon?
Mm-hmm.
Friends,
Yes.
think we should get moving?
Yes, let's go.
Erland's gonna move his Graven's shield, and what kind of weapon does he have?
He has a mace. I think.
Mace.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move that to the other bench, just
Sure.
so that he can't reach it with his hands.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna hop out of the carriage.
There's a lot of like clattering happening inside the carriage, and Preston's kind of like,
Is anyone left in the carriage?
I think you guys have all
Everybody's
exited.
out? Orba quickly gives Graven a hug and then leaves.
Okay. He doesn't respond. He seems out. I mean, he's not making
That's
any
okay.
noise or I just mean like he's not reacting.
Okay.
So it doesn't seem like he's imminently about to wake up or anything. But
Okay.
yes, he seems out.
Okay.
We're ready to go.
Okay, we go.
Can we borrow horses? Or...
You would have
I
your
have
own
a
horse,
horse.
yes, and you guys would have to unhook the horses from your carriage.
I think we have to do.
And it's it's
Okay.
Like a 15-20 minute ride on
I
horse.
start kind of. I know how to do this, so
Yeah.
I'll kind of unhook the horses,
Yep, take them.
and we're just gonna have to like ride them bareback for over.
Like, yeah, you don't have that.
Okay.
You would know how to do that. Beezaura would have some ride. You guys might be a little less comfortable riding, but
If you're less
excellent in
look, if anyone wants to come with me, over you can ride on the same horse if you want to be behind me.
No, I want to try.
Right, but I think we're maybe heading into a dangerous situation, and I can be in front of you would make me feel better.
It would make you feel better?
Yes, it would make me feel better.
Okay, I'll ride on her horse.
Okay.
So we're leaving
So
one
the two of
tackle
you.
then?
Jamie, are you riding your own horse?
Would you like to ride on mine with me?
Aww.
I was gonna offer you on mine.
All right.
Which way you want it?
I'll have my own horse. Thank you.
And I'm kind of unhooking the horse
Sure,
from the
yeah.
carriage, like as they're making this decision.
yeah,
like,
Safira's sort of hooking them up, and it has some rudimentary like reins, and
Yeah.
so it's not nothing, but it's not a comfortable ride, but it'll do the trick.
So
Your horse is nicely sort of set up. It has the broken crown colors on it, black and purple.
Okay, so I'll boost you up on the horse, and then I'll kind of get on.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
So
Orba
Orba's
gives
sitting
it a little
in
pat.
front of you.
yeah, I'm in front
Got
of
it.
her. Yeah.
Oh, you're in front of her. Got
Yeah.
it. So she's hanging. Yeah. Great. So you guys are up and ready to go.
Before I go over to the horse, because he's on the side of the caravan or our carriage, or
Him or the Preston or the Goliath.
him. I'm sorry, I forget character's name. What's the
Dubravko.
yeah, but,
Yeah, I didn't know if he had told you. Dubravka.
what? So where is he in relationship to our horses?
I mean, he's just like 15 feet off. He's gotten up on his horse. He's waiting for you guys to be ready to go.
Okay, great. And I'm gonna hop up, climb the horse.
Do we need to worry about being seen by Bellswile, who told me not to go?
I mean, you're 50, 75 feet away from that central checkpoint area where he was sitting playing cards.
Right.
Probably isn't going to see you, but if he did see you, maybe.
It would be bad.
Do you need a distraction?
I mean, it doesn't seem... You can't see him from where you are, so he can't
Right,
see you.
so you can't see.
Okay,
from there.
we go.
Okay.
I'm assuming you know where you're going.
Yes,
You
it's,
know where it is.
Yeah.
Well, we'll follow you then.
All right.
So
Yeah, Safira.
So you guys continue to ride the three horses, sort of moving
Yeah.
side by side. And you gallop west at a, brisk but controlled pace. And you quickly enter into sort of a lightly wooded area not long after straying from that main road. And you can hear the snapping of dried branches beneath the hooves as it kind of as you go side to side through these trees. It's not densely packed. And as you continue further, the sun gets a little less piercing. You can see that up above you, the canopies of the trees, even though the trunks are fairly far apart, they all sort of come together, making almost like a little green sort of ceiling above you, a little green roof. The sun still peeks through, but it's not quite as bright as the middle of the day. And You get into the wooded area and you're kind of moving through. And who's riding in the front here? Are you sort of directing them through? Make an animal handling check for me.
Oh gosh.
This guy?
Yeah.
Oh God.
5.
5. So as you're sort of navigating through some of the brush that has popped up, you hear a sort of snapping, and the horse's front hoof kind of sinks a little bit into the ground, not all the way forward, and it causes you to kind of whoop forward, and you don't fall off the horse, but you go like almost fully forward, and it looks like the horse is kind of pushed into this deep sort of soft soil in front of you, and it kind of and the other two horses kind of sort of stop, and
Can I
everybody
pull
pulls
my
back.
horse
Three
up?
horses.
3 horses.
3 horses, yeah. Other 2
Yeah.
horses besides his.
No, there's 4 total. They're on separate horses.
Oh, you guys are on separate horses. Sorry, 4 total.
So can I pull my horse up?
Yeah, there's sort
before-
of and there's like the dust on the ground kind of goes flying.
And can I kind of hop off and look at the horse's foot?
Yeah, make a perception check.
Oh my God! What is happening?
So sad. 4.
4. I mean, you don't see anything unusual. How close up do you want to get? 'Cause
I
if you
want to get to its. I want to free its foot.
Sure. Make another animal handling check to calm the horse to make sure that she can get close without.
Seeing that she's jumped off, I would also like to jump off to sort of help her out.
Yeah. You guys kind of corral the horses. It's
Yeah.
like sort of trying to pull its foot out. So
Yeah.
make it with advantage. Give us 2 rolls there.
Like that.
Anything?
9.
9. So you are able to sort of keep the horse from panicking, but it still's kind of like it's like pushing around. And you notice that underneath kind of this layer of dry leaves, the horse kind of kicking them up into the air, you notice that thick vines are sort of blanketing the ground in this area of the woods. And their growth is sort of breaking up the compact dirt and making the soil very soft. That if a person stepped into it, you'd sink a little bit, but the horses, if they step into it, they sink quite a bit into it.
Can I jump off and inspect like the vines?
Sure. Make a nature check.
Nothing?
Give me a second.
Over 10?
13.
Oh, what's that like? The vines doesn't seem to have any particular signifiers to them. You do take a look around and you see a plant on the forest floor that goes by the name of Nita Zarisa, and the common name is referred to as Pappy's Mop. It's sort of a fibrous fern that kind of looks like stringy, like hair, like it looks like the hair. So you see a few of those sort of patched around. And the only thing that strikes you as, it's not unusual necessarily, but they only grow in very fertile areas. They wouldn't grow sort of sparsely in a field or anything. Like there would have to be a lot of rainfall, vegetation, like they grow in very fertile areas.
Can I like?
What is that? Sorry. What is that like? I don't know what that means.
Just might mean there's a lot of plants here. It's not going to be
Okay.
like a sort of dry sort of.
And he said that plants can be dangerous this way.
There's been rumors.
Friends, this plant vegetation we have here, there's a lot happening with it.
Oh, okay.
Such as?
It seems like we hit a patch where there's a lot of plant life, and as he said, the dark magic can cause the plants to play tricks or some sort. So I would tread lightly around here.
Do we need to
I think
hire
it
the
might be best to
horses?
leave the horses. I don't think they can carry on from this point. Can I get the horse's hoof out of the?
Sure. Make another animal handling check as you sort of.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
16.
Great. So with your sort of expertise, and you're still up on the horse, and you're kind of gently making sure the horse is calm. You're able to sort of grab it by the hoof, and you gently, and it feels like it's fighting against it. It kind of sunk in, and the ground feels like a little wet, and it kind of, but it pops out, and you're able to get the horse, and it kind of. backs
And
up
is
a
the
little
horse
bit.
injured at all?
Doesn't seem to be. It just kind of sunk in. It couldn't get it out, so it was sort of panicked.
Okay. All right. I think we should hitch our horses away from this area. I don't want them to sink into the mud. So can we, like, like tie
Right,
our
yeah,
horses
you
around
have
here?
one.
Yeah.
Leave them back a little bit.
Yeah, you can.
But
back
are they
up.
like enough out of sight where if you're on like the plains before the vegetation
Yeah, you guys
starts?
have gone through the woods,
Okay.
you know,
So
5
it's not
minutes
like
or so.
somebody
yeah.
walking by
No,
is
somebody
like, oh,
walking
sick,
by. They'd have to
horses.
be in the woods to see
Cool,
the
great.
horses. Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
So on foot from here.
Okay.
Have you hopped off your horse?
Yes.
Make a nature check as well, as Beezaura sort of pointed out the plants.
Oh my god.
I can't hide it.
7.
7. You also, I'll just tell you now, you don't have to use it. You have the ability to reroll one nature check. That's your survival instinct ability. That's in
yeah.
the thing. If you want to, you don't have to.
I will.
Great.
10.
10. Okay. So you take a look at the plants that Beezaura sort of pointed out in this area, and your sort of knowledge of the forestation, you see a number of them, and they kind of have these green or white translucent kind of fronds that stick out, and one of them's black. They're sort of like tough, and one of them is black. That would be unusual. That, you don't see black pappies and moth ferns like that. That would be unusual.
You spot something.
It appears there is some sort of black flower over there, which is strange because they're usually, like you see, a green and white.
Yeah, green, like a
and white.
translucent kind of green one.
I don't know if this is a good thing or a very bad thing.
Doesn't really seem like it would be a good thing.
Right, but I think there's nothing we can do about it now. And can I kind of move forward and like,
Yep.
Let's just assume that it's magical and avoid it, please.
yeah,
So we continue walking.
Yes.
yes.
You guys start.
Erland's gonna put a hand right on his shoulder and turn him around and say, "What aren't you telling us, friend, in Elfish?"
Yeah, you can speak
Ooh.
Elvish. So Safira can hear this. The other two can't hear this.
Gotcha. So what am I not telling them?
What are you leading us into?
What you know's in there. So
This forest is home to carnivorous
You
plants.
mentioned this, yes?
you don't know that much about it.
I don't know that much about it. Can you give me a hand?
I mean, what are you looking for something specific?
Oh, well, and with that, I want to know if he knows anything else about
The area?
the sort of area and what he might be getting us into.
You don't know anything about that, so you can be honest or lie, but you don't know anything else beyond what you've sort of given.
Yeah. I don't know much about this area. I was not born here. I was not raised here. I served the checkpoint. This is all I know.
I ask you again, these smugglers, what were they smuggling? You're bringing us into combat. You want me to fight alongside of you? I suggest you tell me what we're going after.
Do you want to tell?
Let me put it this way. If we're in combat, and I see you in trouble, trusting me might be useful to you.
This is fair. And it goes both ways. Jamie, Erland, Jamie. So, I will tell you what I know about the smugglers this morning if you tell me what was really going on in that carriage of yours.
That's fair.
It is.
You first.
So they stopped at the checkpoint. They found myconid infused sort of foods and drinks that had sort of the essence of myconid in it. That, you know, it's this sort of superpower drug kind of thing.
Sorry, what was it?
Are you relaying this information?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was myconid infused, like liquids, could be potions. You know, it wasn't myconid itself, but it was something infused with myconid.
Okay.
So did
And we can't hear
we
you.
seize
Yeah.
the contraband? Is that-
Yes.
Yeah.
So you stopped a carriage, and you got the sense that something was off, and you guys
They
searched
ran
the
away.
carriage, and it was in this sort of lockbox under the
Right.
carriage. And as you guys were taking it, they bolted.
And they abandoned it.
Yeah, they took the
Gotcha.
horses and they left it. Yep.
Oh, okay. So the myconid infused stuff is.
Is still at the checkpoint. Yes.
Okay. All
If
right.
you wish to tell
The
them
smugglers
that,
took a horse through this area? They were able to take a horse through this? Do we see any tracks or anything?
they could have abandoned the horses, but
Okay.
Well,
so-
didn't there?
But in mud this thick, you would see tracks.
I'm still holding
don't
them
see
close to.
you don't see any tracks here.
Sarah,
You could be entering it into. I mean, it's fairly
didn't
big.
the
You could be-
smugglers? Didn't their carriages get stopped and they ran away?
Yeah, but they took a horse.
They took their horse.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
ran away. They didn't come through here. Mud like this would hold on to tracks. I would know that, right?
You would. Also, when you pulled the horse's foot out, it was kind of wet and it kind of filled in a little bit. If you looked very closely, you might be able to see. But, you know, it's not just like clear holes where people's footprints went.
I think we should continue on.
Yes, are you quite done?
No.
Was that so hard?
No.
I let him go.
But it's your turn.
He remembered.
Got him.
I thought he would forget.
Our friend was poisoned. And so he had to take an antidote potion until his ailment wore off.
Why was he poisoned?
I don't know.
Is this still in Elvish?
Yes.
Great.
Hey.
So
Orba and Beezaura picking some
And
plant.
can I turn back and in Elvish, he's telling the truth.
Are you hungry?
Are we content?
We are. We continue.
Continue.
Gentlemen, are we about ready to keep going before this black plant turns on us?
Just getting acquainted with our new friend here.
Great.
So can we, like, I don't know.
Start walking?
Well, yeah, I want to start moving
Sure.
forward. And
Was there something else?
just like as we move forward, this black plant, do I notice it do anything? Does it's just sitting
How
there
close do you
being
wanna get to it?
alive? I don't want to get close to it.
Let's just walk away.
Nothing happened.
I
I mean, it
don't
looks
think
like
it
the
was, I
other
just wanna
ones.
see.
It just looks black. Yeah. it's
Okay,
fine.
I just wanted to see if it like quivered or something. I don't know. Okay.
As far as you can
I
tell,
don't know why
it just
I'm
stays
in
there.
this place. Okay, I'm gonna keep moving forward, kind of keeping very aware.
Keeping an eye on the plant.
Just the whole time.
Eyes on you, play.
Okay, well, why don't the Rangers lead the way?
Yeah,
Please.
I think that's a good idea.
Orba has her crystal out.
You guys just
Pull out the quarterstaff.
And
Sure.
can
You
I
want to have
just-
your weapon drawn? Sure.
Yeah, I want to
Like
have
you're
my,
walking with
my weapon
Sure, you just
ready.
put bow
so I'm
by your
just
side.
gonna-
Yeah.
Same.
Sure, great. You guys start to.
My flowers, my power.
I can get it if I need it.
It's easy
Such a
access.
fucking tank.
Great. You
Let's
guys start
go.
to make your way through, and it's a little slower going here. You can't like step heavy because if you do, it kind of sinks. I mean, it's not dangerous, but it just kind of so you have to pick your foot up out of the mud. And as you press forward, the vegetation quickly progresses from kind of a lush area to overgrown. I mean, in the ground, as it slopes downward in front of you, there's vines kind of draped between the trees, coated in moss, and there's dense shrubs that sort of force you to navigate a little more, less direct path. And you notice pockets of earth sort of in front of you. They do like a little beat, or as if there was a liquid underneath them, kind of like a pulse.
Does anyone else notice that?
And it happens every 30 seconds or so.
As we were, are there, in addition like vines and stuff, are there sort of like trees like a typical forest as
Yeah.
well? As we were walking, just every, I don't know, like, let's call it 20 feet, I just want to make sure I was breaking a branch.
Sure.
Just so we can follow our way back.
You can make a little branch trail as you go through.
I can do that thing where I make excitement happen in the ground, but I don't know if whatever's.
Yeah, you could, or I could do this, and can I take a bow out of my quiver and just kind of stick it where the pulsing
Where the
is
pulse
happening?
happens? Yeah, you do, and it kind of sinks into the mud a little bit. Nothing happens. Doesn't pulse again.
Okay, and can I like make sure it's kind of deep in there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you
Can
get
I
it
pull
like.
it back out
Sure.
and not touch it?
Yep.
And can I kind of look at?
It looks muddy.
And these are age-old ranger tactics you use.
I'm going to stick this through your eye.
You don't notice anything unusual about it.
Okay.
Does
What
the
would you suggest we do with the beating mud?
I don't know, I'm not a ranger.
does the ground seem softer than the one we're currently walking on, the part that bubbles? As if we would sink through if we tried to walk?
Say that again, sorry.
Is it obstructing like our path?
No, not at all. And
It's
it and
just
it's
over there.
and it happens. It doesn't happen in the same spot over and over. Like you'll catch it out of the corner of your eye, a pulse, and then somewhere over here, like another pulse, and it's small area.
Is it?
Can I
hot?
try to put my foot
Is-
on it? Just like step a little
Yeah,
bit?
as you kind of walk up to it and you press your foot where the area is, it doesn't pulse again. It doesn't seem to be pulsing when you're on top of it, or like when Safira stuck her arrow in it, didn't pulse after that.
Can I put my ear to it too?
If you stick your head down to the
Oh
ground,
my
yeah.
Just in case there's something underneath the ground.
Make a perception check.
You do you, girl. Put your face near that bubbling
Why
mud.
not? Ooh, 14.
14. Put your head sort of close to the ground. You sort of quiet everybody. And you hear a very faint kind of ticking noise.
There's some sort
And then
of
it goes away.
ticking happening. It doesn't last.
Like a creature or a mechanism?
More like a creature, but not really like either.
It sounds creature-like, but can't quite decipher it. It's like a...
Can I kind of turn away a little bit so that he might not be able to superhear? Oh no, that's too weird for such a
If
type
you want to. It would be obvious to him that you're
it's
trying not
such
to
a-
talk
it's
to him.
too
Yeah.
It might be on a timer?
Look, I'm sorry, I
It didn't sound mechanical. if that's-
Okay.
yeah.
Look, I don't mean to be insensitive, but we have to consider the possibility that there's something here that may have dispatched with not just the smugglers, but also with everyone. And it seems like this whole area could be its own organism, if that makes any sense to anyone.
Tiefling, can you detect magic?
It's going.
Is that taxing?
It is rather taxing. Unless I sit and do it for 10 minutes, then it's not so
Can
taxing.
I do...
But what I was also going to take a big swing and say it might be some kind of natural, maybe pressure plate system put in place by somebody. If there's footfalls on this floor, maybe it alerts whoever is occupying this forest. That would be a big shot in the dark.
What if we all take several steps back and you do your air punch hand thing into the ground very hard?
Which one are you describing?
I don't know, I've seen you do hands and winds and just some sort of
Thing?
magic thing.
Thaumaturgy, I think is what he means.
Oh, that's very good.
Yes,
Do you
I
think
remember.
all this time spent on this is worth it?
I mean, this is the direction that we have to
Can't
go.
get-
There were
You
two-
haven't reached the ravine proper yet. You're
There
still
were
Right.
two groups of troops that disappeared through this area. I think I'd like to be as careful as is humanly possible.
But we haven't tried to cross it yet.
Would you like to
Uh,
try to
Well,
cross
if
it?
you'd like to try.
Cross what?
Like, just
muddy
keep
area.
going.
Yeah, you guys are walking through it, yeah.
Instead of stopping and inspecting everything, we can just keep going.
Alright, lead the way.
Oh. Will you help me lead the way? I don't really know where I'm
Now we're
going.
to make this-
I don't know the direction I'm going in. I just want to keep going in the correct direction.
I agree. Every minute we waste is another minute my brother is missing. I say we move
Fine.
forward.
Is there like a rock or anything
Yeah,
around
lots of
me?
rocks.
Can I pick
A
up a
mossy
rock
stone,
and
yeah.
just like toss it as hard as I can? Like
At one of these sort of pulsing areas?
Yeah.
Just like in the air.
Sure, make an athletics check.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Hey, that's okay.
Still got double digits.
7.
7. You toss the stone and it kind of veers off to the side and clunk hits a tree and kind of into the mud.
Yeah, that's a 9.
Not a
It's a 9?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
10.
It hits the
One.
tree and then, and then it bounces 3 more times. I mean, it gets close to the sort of pulsing spot. It kind of sticks in the mud. Nothing happens. The pulse stops. And again, it's not happening very often. You see the pulse every...
Look, I
30
think
seconds.
there's nothing else we
Hang
can
on.
do. The only thing we can do from here is proceed with caution. I think that you're right. Every minute we waste. And can I just kind of start walking through the mud?
He's right. I'm the one that's
Oh my
You
goodness.
guys continue
Picks up his
through.
cloak so it doesn't get in the mud.
Oh, he's
Sure.
right. Okay.
Yeah, or
How long does your disguise last, by the way?
An hour.
Oh, okay.
I'm keeping that in
Yeah,
mind.
yeah. It's
I
only
like
been
that.
10 minutes.
I gave us an
It's not
hour.
gonna matter. It's gonna go away. Huh?
I gave us an hour.
Yeah, well.
Safira's got you covered. I mean, Zara's got you covered. So you guys
So as
continue
they're
through.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
You guys
okay.
are proceeding through. You continue. Was there something?
Maybe like 10 feet off from where we're walking, if it's still a bubbly area there, can I just cast thaumaturgy and like rustle the ground on that side a little, kind of as a distraction?
Sure, you're doing like a little...
Yeah,
Like a little...
boop.
Yeah, you kind of... And the leaves kind of flutter. And the pulsing stops, but nothing happens.
I thought maybe I would distract it, but I don't know. Let's go.
And you see this display of magic. It's the first time anyone's displayed the use of magic.
That's the magic hand thing I was speaking of.
That's not the hand. I would make a hand.
Let's
or
keep
see the
going.
hand,
You guys
shall
are
we?
moving. You guys
Okay.
are moving as this is
Just
happening.
bickering over what?
Well, and as we're moving, I want to look at the trees just to see if there's any truth in this rumor about the trees, like, talking or whatever.
Sure. Make a perception check.
Did he say that, or is that just...
The trees
Well,
being
like,
alive.
sentient.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Jesus.
5.
I mean, you take a look and you don't notice any motion other than the pulses in the ground. Everything else seems fairly ordinary. And you guys continue forward, and you reach the edge of what is the real sort of main portion of the ravine, and it slopes down at kind of a 60-degree angle. It's fairly steep, but it would be traversable if you're careful. You could sort of make your way down. And you can see trees with their roots sort of partially exposed, kind of jutting out from the banks. And you see, partially obstructed by the vegetation, about 100 feet or so down, where the ground levels out. And there's wooded plants kind of giving way to kind of a rocky, mossy area. Like the bottom has kind of these, like a more solid ground area. So you're here at the edge of the ravine.
So is this it?
This is it.
Do you see your brother anywhere?
I do not. I think we have to go down into the ravine and see what's going on down there.
Is it steep enough that it would be rather dangerous to sort of go down that way, or?
You could walk down it. You'd have to do it slowly, kind of inching your way down. But yeah, it's not a 90-degree. You don't have to jump.
A ravine is like...
It's like the... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, like a canyon, but it's not as big as a canyon. It's like a two sides, and then it slopes down into a lower area.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, would we need to use like a climbing kit to get down here?
If you were careful, no, you could make it.
I say we tread lightly and we go down.
And there's a lot of trees. You can kind of grab the branches and kind of scoot your way down. You can kind of lower yourself as you're moving.
And you're sure the men were sent into the ravine?
That's what they said, yeah.
Yes,
Alright.
Are you leading the way?
I am.
Great.
Let's go.
You start to make your way down. Make an investigation check as you are sort of keeping your wits about you as you're moving down.
Oh!
Yeah?
You got a natural 20.
25.
It was a natural 20? Yeah, so that's an automatic success. You don't even have to add your other stuff to it.
Yeah, that's the juicy bit right there.
I got it right. I got that
You
right.
did. You were on top of it.
Boom.
As you're sort of scooting your way down, you're holding on to some of the branches.
Yeah.
You see a few shrubs that look like they have a clean edge cut away from them, like not a natural edge. Like it looks like a blade cut them. And it leads sort of down to the ravine and to the left a little bit. And it looks like someone was kind of using some of these thick vines as footholds as they were kind of lowering themselves down into it. And you notice sort of a rustling behind a fallen tree trunk about 3/4 of the way down into the ravine. And sort of these, like a shaking behind. And you can hear a muffled shaking down.
Okay, so there is something down there. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if it's human, animal, something else.
If it's human, we should try to get it free.
Yes, but
Yes,
but it could also be the smugglers we were chasing before, and they might not be happy to see a soldier of the Broken
But
Crown.
they might know where your brother
This
is.
could be a trap.
Orba's at the top of the ravine. She hasn't climbed down.
She hasn't started moving down. Sure.
I want to go check to see
Sure.
what this is.
Yes. Are you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to go with him.
They start to make their way.
I'll go.
Stay a little bit behind them, but at the ready.
Sure. Yeah. The three of you kind of quickly now, kind of descending. Make athletics checks. The three of you kind of attempting to quickly move down the ravine towards this.
Oh my goodness.
0.
0. Excellent. 9.
12.
12. So Beezaura is able to sort of keep her foothold as she's kind of quickly scuffling down, sort of her small size, making it so it's easier to get a foothold on some of the things. And Safira, the two of you sort of start to slide and kind of hit a loose section of rocks and mud that kind of and starts to slide down, and the two of you kind of quickly, it makes a lot of noise, I mean, throughout the forcing, kind of all the way down, and you're close to nothing happens yet. You can still see the shaking and hear the sort of behind the... You don't get hurt, but it made a lot of noise.
Where is that noise coming from again?
It's on the other side of like a fallen tree trunk. That's close to you now. I mean, the two of them are close to it. Like,
Can I call back and... Jamie, watch over Julie.
That's me.
Yeah, I know, but just keep an eye on her.
Very fun.
yeah, Erland's like climbing his
Yeah,
way
I
down.
know,
yeah.
but I just...
Sure.
Yeah, he's closer.
Should we look beyond the trunk?
Sure.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, so can I...
Can I- oh.
Can we do it stealthily?
Yeah, I'll go.
Sure. Stealth checks. If you guys are trying to do it somewhere.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Let's hit us. 20.
That's a good one to get.
20.
Hey!
We did it.
Come on, Billy.
Still forget his character.
Right in front of the guy.
8.
I mean, the overall, like the three of you do a good job kind of making your way. I mean, you made a lot of noise with the slide that happened, but you quietly make your way around. And as you sort of turn the corner of the tree trunk, you see a man restrained by a number of vines who's like, and there's one over, his mouth, so he can't sort of shout out. And he's wearing the colors of the Broken Crown. You can see the purple and black. It's not your brother.
Oh, I was gonna say, is that your brother?
So,
Single.
can I run up to him and start to,
Is he
with
free
my
tonight?
Yeah,
knife, like,
so-
cut him free?
Yeah, make a dexterity check as you're running up to cut this.
You know him.
Yes, he's one.
It's hard to recognize him yet because there's vines kind of like wrapping his face, but you
Right.
can see that he's a soldier of the Broken Crown.
11.
11. So you kind of go to work on the vines and you're sort of cutting
Can I
the
help?
vines. Make a dexterity check as well. And the vines are kind of moving and you're sort of grabbing it and attempting to sort of cut him free.
15.
15, great. So the two of you kind of, one of the vines kind of snaps and kind of springs off, and another vine kind of snaps and springs off, and the rest of the vines, after the two of them got cut, kind of, and they descend back into the ground. They kind of retreat away from being attacked. And the man goes free, and you can see it. His name is Cyrus. He's one of the men who was sent in the first group that was sent after the smugglers. Not the group with your brother, but one of the first men. And he kind of... and he puts a hand on your shoulder. It's good to see you, Ravi.
Are you okay?
I am now. And he kind of takes a look around at some of the other people here, and I'll take any help I can get, but where are the other soldiers of the Broken Crown?
I was hoping you would tell me. I found these people. They came to help me because I'm looking for Amari. I cannot find him. They sent another a group after you did not come back, and they did not come back either. What happened?
Our men got split up. And your brother's team, they came and they found us. There was a couple of mudslides, and we got separated. My group, me and one other. And your brother and his men came and found us. And we went looking for the original group of men. We couldn't find them. And out from the ground sprung these vines. And they started pulling men down into the ground. And one of them grabbed your brother and two other men, and it pulled them around the corner of the ravine. And I couldn't get to them. And I was able to use magic to escape the vines that I was in. But I had to flee, because the other men were being pulled away, and I could not save them. I don't know where they went, I'm sorry to say. But I think we can still find them. I don't know for sure if they're alive, but with you here, perhaps we could go after them.
And he sort of looks around at you guys.
How long ago was this?
I've been restrained by this vine for perhaps 20 minutes, and he sort of looks around quickly and he dusts kind of a patch of leaves away, and he picks up what looks like you would recognize it. You're kind of up high, but it's like a magical focus, like a wizard's focus. He's like, when the vine grabbed me, I dropped the focus, and I couldn't cast my spells. So that's why I got stuck here. But the attack earlier that separated us, that must have been, I don't know, an hour and a half ago? An hour ago?
They just disappeared.
The vines pulled them into the ground. Some of them it pulled up into the trees.
And how many men were there?
Well, there were 6 of us before we got separated. Your brother was among them. I
What about
assume
the smugglers, the men you were chasing?
no trace of them as far as I know. Fuck the smugglers. Let's find our men. I was going back to get help from the camp, but now that you're here, perhaps we stand a better chance if we go after them now.
I agree with you. I think we need to find your men.
While this is happening, since Orba has kind of an aerial view, can
Sure.
I just keep an eye on anything surrounding these guys and make sure there's no other vines
Yeah.
or anything?
Sure. You keep a watch. You don't have to do it. I mean, you're keeping an eye out as this is happening.
Great.
Are you descending down to this sort of area where they've... you
Yeah,
can hear
I-
them talking.
yeah, now that
There's sort
I
of a
hear-
loud conversation.
Yeah, I'm gonna sort of make my way down, I guess very carefully.
Sure, you sort of carefully make your way, and when you kind of turn the corner, he sort of spooked a little bit. One of yours?
Yes.
Oh, good.
No, at one of the vines.
Give him a break,
Why
Jamie.
not?
A bit of dark humor in this time, I suppose.
don't understand. Why did you ask one of yours?
I asked if he was one
If
with
he was
you.
with us.
Oh, you thought, but were there people attacking, or was it just the forest?
No, but the smugglers are around here
Smugglers?
somewhere, I
Right.
presume.
So we're expected to take on an entire forest together.
I don't know what's out
This
there.
magic, are you familiar with it?
I am not. My magic was able to get me out of the grasp of the vines. I can tell you that counterintuitively, fire is an ineffective weapon against these plants. I tried that. I attempt to loosen their grasp with a bolt of fire, but they did not flinch.
And what did you find was effective?
Teleporting away, that's what I found was effective.
Well, when we cut these vines just now, they retreated.
I imagine they do feel pain.
Well, we can inflict pain.
Hopefully.
Do you suppose we just start digging in the ground for...
A couple of them were pulled down into the ground. I can show you the spot. I took off in a sprint as soon as I was able to get free. Some of them were pulled away, not into the ground, around the ravine, one up into the trees.
Where did you see Amari get taken?
I can show you. Not 200 feet from here. He sort of points down the
Let's
ravine
go.
a little
Let's
way.
go there first.
I only have this quarterstaff. Will this do anything against the vines? I don't have a knife.
I'm not sure, to be honest.
I have a knife. I can.
Are you
I can
descending?
throw it down. No, I'm staying up
Oh,
right now.
okay. If they follow the ravine,
I can't walk alongside them.
there's a lot of thick forestation. It would be hard to track them from up there.
Okay. Do I need to come down?
You can hear Orba kind of shouting from the ridge side.
Look, I'd feel safer if you were closer to us.
Another
And
one
if
of
we
yours,
need-
I'm assuming?
And if we need your magic...
Okay. Orba, like, really awkwardly turns around to go backward, like, climbing down the
And he sees
nature.
you, and he sort of takes off his hat at this point, calming down a little bit. And he, Cyrus Canard. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Becca.
Becca?
Sarah.
Sarah?
I'm still climbing.
She's Julie, the one climbing, and that's
Julie,
Jamie.
Jamie.
Their names change depending on whether or not they remember to lie.
Do their loyalties change as quickly as their names?
Absolutely not.
So far, no.
They're okay.
Am I right?
Well,
Let's
for,
go get your brother, shall we?
For now, I'll take that.
And you guys start to move. And Safira, make a nature check as you're kind of wandering through with your sort of ranger's instincts.
What about those? 8.
Hey. So there's a number of plants that you see as you come by. Only one of them kind of catches your eye.
Okay.
And it's called Suke Sarpa, and you recognize this plant because it's commonly used with guerrilla tactics during war, because if you grab it, it makes like a very loud hissing noise, and people would use it to signal to each other. Like if you grab it by it has this kind of bulbous, it has a stem and then a bulb, and if you like
it's
crush
like-
the bulb, it makes like a loud hissing noise that can be heard very far away. So soldiers would use this as a way to signal that someone was coming or,
Okay.
warn people off. So you would recognize that.
Okay.
Just something that you sort of notice as you're going
These
by.
plants with the bulbs, be careful of them. If you crush them, they'll make a very loud noise. So if one of us gets separated and I hear that noise, I'll come in that direction. We shouldn't be separated from one another, but don't crush them unless we absolutely need to.
You wouldn't like step on it accidentally. It's probably like 2 feet up from the ground, like on a stem,
okay.
and it has like a
Right.
little bulb
Like
on
purposeful.
top.
So you
Yeah.
Can we cut them and take them with us?
It would last for a little while, but after some time, it would
Would
die,
lose.
and
Gotcha.
it wouldn't make the sound anymore. But for a little bit, yeah.
Gotcha.
For-
Okay.
Did you need a dagger?
How would that work if I took am I proficient with a dagger? Would it?
you are. That's a basic weapon that you would be proficient with. It's not a monk
I
weapon.
was about to say.
Yes, it's not a monk weapon.
What does that do for me?
Certain abilities can't trigger unless you're using a monk weapon.
Yeah, I should. I'll try my best with the quarterstaff for now. If
You can take it also and like
Oh,
put it on
oh,
your
great,
belt.
yeah. yes.
So, she's got the stats for it if you end up
And
using
as
it.
we're moving forward, do we notice any movement, any of the same sound that we heard from him? Like when we found him?
Like rustling or anything
Yeah,
like
rustling.
that?
Like a
or
person
like
moaning or
someone's,
something.
You don't hear anything like that. And he sort of, this way. And he sort of starts, and you guys follow, and you guys are moving through the ravine. And you've descended into the ravine bottom where it's kind of rocky and mossy, and it doesn't take long to reach the spot that he described. And as he's sort of walking up to it, you see there's this sort of large mudslide that seemed to come down from one side of the ravine, and it's sort of impeded progress through here.
Yeah.
Right up here. And he sort of walks up and he looks around. I don't see where they were taken into the ground. Like the ground is kind of broken up and it's muddy again, kind of like what you saw earlier. Who's up closest to him?
I was going to say, I just want to grab him. I want to hold his arm.
Cyrus, who just walked up there.
Cyrus's arm. I want to hold his arm.
Yeah.
Just in
and
case.
he sort of.
If you saw
close
men
by.
get sucked down, I'd like you to not get sucked down, friend.
I'm close by.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Make a perception check. 16. So you take a look around as he's described this spot, and he's kind of looking through some of the mud, holding on to Erland's hand, and you spot a couple more of those tufts that you saw earlier. Mm-hmm. This time not black, but brown. A couple brownish, different shades of brown. Tufts like in the ground that seem to be growing there.
These here, brown in color.
What about them?
They're a bit strange.
And he sort of takes a look around, and he doesn't see a lot of plants growing here on the bottom. It's mostly like rocky. I suppose it's a little odd. I don't remember seeing those before when I was here last.
Can I try to touch one?
Sure. Try to touch one. And it feels like little oily, kind of hair-like.
Interesting.
Can I kind of move some of the soil away?
Sure.
Can I
you
get
kind
down
of-
on my knees and
Sure.
kind of...
And you sort of, as you kneel down, you sink a little into the mud, but it stays up, kind of.
Okay.
And you start to move some of the wet mud, and as you scrape it away, you see a forehead. As you
Okay,
sort of scrape.
can I keep scraping so that I can...
Sure. Yeah.
Can I
you still
help?
scrape. You can
Yeah.
yell for what's going on or whatever.
Yeah. Kneel down there. These might be people. Can we...
Yeah, how many
start
spots are
digging
There's
there?
3 tufts, 3
Okay.
different.
Yeah, Orba's gonna start doing another
Let
one.
go of the guy, go to Orba.
I'll
Yeah, you
have
guys
one.
sort of start to scoop the mud, and Cyrus helps you. You're scooping and scooping. You get, it scoops all the way down, and you start to see heads, and they look
These are
dead.
people.
They're dead.
They look dead.
Are
Yeah.
any of these your brother?
No.
No.
Are they in fact dead?
Orba slaps one of them in the face.
There's 2 men and a woman, and you slap one of them. Nothing happens.
And we don't recognize
Cyrus
them.
comes over.
You recognize them?
I do. Goretti, Brando, and Nadia.
And you would recognize the names. They're soldiers that were sent out with your brother's unit.
What do we do?
Look, let's get them all the way out of the mud.
That would be difficult. They're vertical in the mud.
Jesus God.
You think it's worth it? If they're already past.
Can I open one of their mouths?
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
So if I kind of...
You've scooped up enough that it's up to their chin, kind of.
And what do I see in it? The
Inside their mouth?
Yeah.
Just kind of some dirt. It looks like it's some dirt got filled in. You don't see anything else.
Cyrus,
Yes.
is there any way to bring them back to life after they've been down in the soil?
Not without some powerful wizardry that's beyond my means.
Well, you keep saying they look dead. What does that mean?
Do we know any resuscitation things as soldiers?
Yes, some basic medicine stuff, but
Yeah.
they are dead for all intents and unless you come up with something. They look dead.
Can we kind of... Is there a way to get kind of just a chest out?
Yeah, you can kind of push more. The wet earth kind of sinks back as you're pushing it.
Yeah,
but
can I
you
push-
could with some effort you can.
And just try to against one of their sternums, just kind
Mhm,
of...
and it makes
like-
kind of a squishy sort of wet noise.
I don't think it's worth it, to be honest.
I'm sorry you lost your men, but at least it was not your brother, friend.
We need to keep
Look,
going.
you can send people back here, they can be given a proper burial, but for the moment I think that we should look for the men who might still be alive.
You can see that the decision sort of pains him a little bit, but she's right. It's dangerous.
We will come back, we will dig them out, and we will bring them to their families.
I think that's best.
Are these men, to the rangers in the group, are these men near any specific plant that we should be looking out for?
Look, I have never seen anything like this. It looks like they asphyxiated by being drawn down into the mud.
But there's no plant around them in particular, a particular species?
No. Not
Do you-
that.
Not that you recognize.
Do you know if they were part of the first or second group that went out?
We're part of the second group, his brother's group.
Okay, and take us to the next spot where you saw men being taken.
And he sort of takes a look up.
We'll have to traverse the mudslide. I guess let's start climbing.
What's in our climbing kit?
We have like
I don't think we ever logged what specifically.
I think it has I think it's more climbing like cliffs
It's
or
like-
rocks.
yeah,
it's like
it
you
has
put the
like-
pegs in and,
yeah.
and you rope
Can
around
this be
it.
just climb
Did we use-
barehanded?
Yeah, it's like slippery. It's muddy, so slowly, but yes.
Did we use all of the rope on Graven?
I believe you did.
Yeah.
I think you used multiple ropes.
I think we just have to bear it.
No, but I was thinking we get in one big line and we tie rope around all of our waist. That way, if one person is pulled in, there's 6 other people on the other side pulling us up out of the ground. But
Should we
I don't
all-
have any rope.
Should we all hold wrists and climb in a chain?
Perhaps quarterstaff might come in handy as well.
that's true.
I pull out my quarterstaff and hand.
Who wants to hold the other end of this?
I have a longbow.
Are we gonna be able to climb?
You could
over
hold
it?
like the bow end of it to pull somebody up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you needed to.
So
Yeah.
the
Well, we have
quarterstaff and
to-
the longbow.
Do we have to? Can we?
Climb first?
Yeah, actually, can we climb it like if we're all holding on to something, or is it too steep that we're gonna need hands as well?
No, you could walk up it slowly, yeah, and it's that kind of wet mud, so you kind of sink into it a little bit. But if you're careful, you can like slowly make a little chain and up
Yeah.
the side.
If you want, I can take my cloak off and use that as well.
Excellent.
Just might help you sink into the mud less, or you can grab onto it.
Yeah.
I sort of hand Dubrovko my quarterstaff and say,
Lead the way.
So you guys sort of make like this chain: staff, person, cloak, and you're making your way up. Everybody make athletic checks.
Oh my god, you guys.
Jesus.
Oh,
6.
that one.
15.
Athletics?
Yeah.
9.
4.
Guys, get
You
on my
guys-
level.
Start to make your way up the side of it, and you're sinking into it a good bit, sort of more than you anticipated as you sort of were making it. So it's very sort of difficult to traverse this, and you're kind of making slow time. You are able to do it. I'm going to say that it takes significantly longer than you would have hoped otherwise. Like, whereas you hoped it might take 5 minutes to get up to the top, it takes you, 15, 20 minutes to sort of slowly scoot your way up this sort of.
Even
And
though
who
I
was in
got-
front? Were you in front?
Even though I
Yes.
got a 15?
I mean, you
Everyone
do a
else
good
failed.
job yanking it up, but it's sort of as a group,
Dragging Orba.
slowly.
I'm sorry.
Come on!
Orba in the mud, like.
Slow pokes. Get up the mountain.
That's probably quite physically taxing as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's fairly tiring.
But we get up there.
Yep, you make your way up to the top.
Where now, Cyrus?
And you guys sort of all make your way up, and it, you can see down the other side, and the ravine sort of shifts off to the right.
I think they went down there. Vines came, they pulled them around the corner, and I couldn't see them after that. I suggest from here on, we're at maximum alert.
Orba grabs Safira's hand.
Okay, so I'll take her hand and kind of want her to be a little behind me.
And Cyrus sort of takes out
One
his
hand
sort
on
of
my
magical focus
Yeah, I
that
have
he
my
has.
Yeah, quarterstaff, 2 hands.
I'll take out my weapon.
Same.
So you guys slowly kind of make your way, and you turn around, and it opens up into this glade sort of area. It seems a little tranquil almost, like a lot of foliage, a lot of flowering plants, a lot of colors. And the ground is made up of like a lattice of vines, like crisscrossed vines, all making this like bedded floor. And the ravine closes up at the top as well, so it almost becomes like a cave at this end of the ravine. So it's open, and then it kind of closes up as you move forward through.
And that's the vines that have closed.
No. That's
Oh, the
that's
ravine
like
itself.
rock.
Okay,
Yes,
sorry.
yeah. It's just the sort of ground
Okay.
that has this lattice of vines. And on the opposite end, sort of in the caved area, you see a man who's upright against a tree on the backside, and he's restrained in vines as well, not moving. You don't hear any noise or anything coming from him.
And then what do the sides of the ravine look like? Are they still rock?
It's rocky, and it's much steeper now. So the ravine was kind of open, and it now has like gotten steeper, and at the end of the hall sort of closes up.
How about we don't walk across the vines and we kind of, shimmy across these rocks to get to where we're
I
going?
agree. I think it's better not to walk.
Is
across
that your
the
brother?
I can't see from here.
Make a perception check. Maybe you can see from here.
I might be able to see from here.
15.
15.
Nice.
You're able to sort of see there's a number of vines kind of covering his body and his face, but it could be. He's the right size and build of your brother. It's hard to see his face from here, but of all the people you've seen so far,
but
he looks
we've already found 3, and you. That means it's either him or one other person. I like our chances.
And how far away, I'm sorry, is the guy?
It was probably like 100 feet.
Okay, got it.
I think we should make our way down.
I agree.
We're just gonna walk across these vines, and he
No,
sort
I
of
think
looks.
we should. Can we traverse the edges of the ravine where there's only rock?
You'd be like holding on to it. It
Yeah.
gets vertical very quickly, so yeah, you'd be.
Well, we have a climbing kit.
We have one climbing kit.
Yeah.
There is one other possibility. I know the spell Dimension Door. I could teleport someone over there. However, that would use up some of my magical energy. If we needed to teleport out of a dangerous situation, I might not have it anymore.
I would prefer to teleport out of dangerous situations rather than into them.
I think we need to save this man.
I agree.
Oh, do you have teleportation magic?
No, I'm not so skilled.
Look, I think the priority should be saving the man who's restrained.
Yes, and teleporting someone directly to him will leave us with 2 dead men.
Do you think so?
I feel like as soon as we get to that area, why are we not to think that there's going to be vines ready to come out and get us?
I think we should try to make it down there without any magic, just in case we need it later on.
Okay.
Ravi, do all of us need to go?
Not necessarily.
I think I should go alone. You people have done far enough. You found my friend. If something's going to happen in trying to find my brother, it should happen to me.
You're no use to your brother dead, friend.
I am very good at helping from afar. So,
She is, and so we can feasibly climb, like scoot our way around, and then get to him.
If you had like your climber's kit, you can kind of sidestep slowly across without stepping on the ground. Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah, and does it look like he's actively being suffocated, or did it just?
He's not moving at all, that you can tell.
Okay.
And the climber's kit is only like one person.
Yeah, they bought
Can
one.
we test the line to see
In
what
what
happens?
Yeah. Well.
Oh, actually,
What?
Use my sword.
You wanna
See
slice
if
it?
If they
If you
yeah.
don't like that.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
try. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you take out your sort of sword and you give it like a hack,
Yeah.
and the vine kind of separates. It snaps a little bit, and you see, and it looks. If you look down into it, it doesn't look like soil or dirt underneath. It looks like there's space underneath, and then it quickly, like vines reform over the part where you sliced.
Oh, clearly it didn't like that.
is there any large-ish rocks near me?
There's some stones, yeah.
I'd like to pick one up, and it doesn't have to be very far, but just throw a heavy enough rock.
Make an athletics check.
I believe you said it doesn't have to be very far. Like you're gonna skip the check.
Seven.
Just like right in front of me.
That's exactly what I was trying to do.
I mean, you're able to give it like a good shove, and it kind of rolls to the edge of the vines, and the vines kind of bubble up, and it rolls back towards you, like it like and then it
Stops
goes
it.
back.
Can I-
Someone help me roll this rock onto the vines. Just want to roll it onto the
I
vines.
got
Sure.
them.
You guys give it a good, with multiple people, you're able to push it, and you push it like 10 feet out into this sort of vine floor, and it sort of sags a little bit, and then the vines kind of open up, and the rock falls, and it
And do we hear it fall?
yep, and it kind of makes a
How long before we hear
Does
it
it
fall?
sound like it
A
lands
second?
in water?
A second.
Does it sound like it?
does
like,
not sound like it landed in water.
Okay.
So I
So
don't
like a
think
s-
it's wise to walk across these vines.
No, absolutely not. But can I kind of kneel down and let's just see what they might not like. We've tried blunt force. We've tried something sharp. Do we have anything else that we can use?
yeah, I have, and I just cast Ray of Frost at the vines.
Great, you give it, and the sort of frost comes shooting out, and it kind of hits the vines, and the vines kind of, you can see the like ice kind of crackling around the
We
vines,
don't like that. Can I
and it
take
kind
my-
of shudders a little bit, and then it kind of as if it was shaking the ice off. It kind of
Oh, but it's so no effect, right?
effect in what way? It seemed perturbed by it. It didn't seem. What were you looking for?
Well, I seemed to have annoyed the vines.
Yeah, it seemed like it didn't like it.
So I think
Well, you said that they don't respond to fire.
I tried fire magic on it. Barely seemed to make a scratch. Counterintuitive. Plants, I assume, would catch fire, but no such luck.
How?
I have a flask of oil in my bag.
Well, if they don't respond
well, if
to
he
fire-
doesn't
I
think
know,
they respond to fire, why waste the oil?
What else are we gonna?
I think one person should shimmy their way down with the climbing tools.
How close do you need to be to teleport someone? If someone were to climb over to the man, could you teleport them back?
If I was with them, yeah.
If you were with them, so not from this distance.
I can't teleport there and back.
If someone other than you climbed across using, we have a climbing kit,
Right.
towards the man, could you teleport them back together?
I have to be touching them to teleport.
Could you teleport all three of us if the two of us went?
One person. It's the limits of my magic, I know. I used up quite a bit of my spell power in the escape earlier, I'm sorry to say.
So even if we get over to my brother,
You need to get them.
we need to carry him back, which we wouldn't be able to do on the
When
rocks.
we cut the vines away from you, we cut 2 vines and then the rest of them seem to fall away.
Right?
Well, maybe in this system here, does anything look more important to you?
Make a perception check. Are you looking or are you asking?
I'm looking.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of asking to see, like, for everyone to Jesus 3.
I mean, not that you can tell. I mean, that's like a crisscross network of vines, and they all look fairly similar.
Do you think if we cut the vines in 2 places at the same time, then they'll shrivel away in the...
Well, we
Well,
can
why
try.
don't we try it? It doesn't seem to have, overtaken us in any way yet, and we've
Can
been
I-
messing around with it for quite some
Can
time.
I try to slash it 2 times?
The vines?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure.
I'll look
You
at it.
take a couple hacks out.
While she does that, can I peek down and see, because I have dark
Sure.
vision?
So you make a couple hacks, and the same thing. You hear that kind of, and the vines kind of snap for a moment, and Orba peeks down. How many slices? How hard are you trying to sort of open it up? Just so I know.
Like 3 slashes and like
Cool.
just open it just to see.
Great. So you take sort of
if it-
3 big.
If 3 at one time.
Yeah, you take 3 big hacks and snapping, and you peek down and make a perception check.
Come on. 12.
12, and you're sort of looking over.
I'm trying to see what's
into it. Yeah, so you sort of peek over the edge, and you're able to see down there. It seems like an open room full of vegetation, flowers, plants, like another layer of.
I don't see any people.
You don't see any people. And as you peek, and right after you look, it kind of it starts to sort of seal up the hole where you slash through. And I need both of you to make dexterity saving throws as vines sort of snap up and grab around Beezaura and Orba and pulls you down towards.
Are
The
they
area.
close enough that we can grab?
Do the dexterity saving throws first.
3. Oh my god. Where's the thing at?
Dexterity
side?
saving throw. Yeah, saving throws. There's a
Oh.
section for saving throws.
Up at the top left.
Yeah.
The very top. Top left.
Oh, right on the side here.
No. In the little bip.
There's a box that says saving throws. Yeah.
5.
5.
Oh,
So,
boy.
because they were sort of very off balance, you don't even have time to grab them as they kind of straps and it pulls the 2 of them down, and the vines seal up over the top of them, and you can't hear anything, and that's where we're gonna take our break.
Oh my god!
What the heck?
No, this really didn't go to plan.
We'll be right back. We're gonna take a 15-minute break for dinner. Thank you so much, and we'll be back in 15.
I'm not gonna be able to eat now!
Why am I with the plan?
See you guys soon. All right, we're back. We're back. Welcome back, everybody. So, as we left off, Orba and Beezaura had just been pulled down by the vines. I get some.
Have we now?
Get some vine music.
Yeah, can we get the vine music set up? There we go.
Cue
That's good.
the vines.
That's good. Yeah, that's good vine music.
Vine. Yes.
So when they get pulled down,
Yes.
we don't hear it go silent after they're pulled down.
I mean, you hear like a like it sounds like they dropped down.
Can I call?
Orba? Beezaura?
Can
we talk?
Yeah.
If you guys yell, you can. Let me go to Orba and Beezaura for a moment. So you go down into this area, and it's very. The lighting down here is very dim. It's sort of light seeping through the vines above you, and it's very hot. It's like this sauna-like atmosphere, and it has a similar vine floor, like above you. It has a sort of latticed vine floor, and all the flowers that surround you are quite beautiful if you didn't feel that you were in danger. I mean, it's the sort of vegetation is brightly colored and all these sort of flowering plants all sprouted out, and the petals and fronds kind of sway back and forth, or it seems like they sway back and forth. The air is very hot down here, so it could sort of be the sort of warping of the air as the sort of water and heat kind of passes through. And it has a number of vines are going from floor to ceiling. Like, in addition to the two lattices above you and below you, there's vines like up and down. So like not, spaced out. It's not like hard to get through here, but
Like thick enough stuff that like you could climb as if it were a rope.
possibly,
Kind of idea? Okay.
possibly, yeah. I mean, it's a pretty big vine. There's a number of them kind
Okay.
of stretched down here.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
And you guys can hear each other. It's kind of muffled, but if you yell, you can hear. Like you can hear it.
Yep, Beezaura, is that you?
Yes.
Is it safe down there?
It's not
Where's Orba? Is she
dangerous.
alright?
Oh.
She's here.
Yes. Hello.
Fuck's sake. Okay.
Are you hurt?
Not hurt, just eager to get out.
Should we go down there?
No, not yet. Stay where you are.
Why don't
all
you-
of us should go down there with them.
I don't know. It's
Can I just reach out and just grab his arm?
Whose arm?
Yours.
Sure, Cyrus. Yeah.
Yeah, Cyrus.
Mine.
Yeah, and can I just kind of like grab him by
Sure.
both shoulders
Yeah.
Grabbing people.
and just shake him a little bit?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure that you are who you say you are.
As far as I know.
Can I make a
Inside check.
Inside check?
Sure. Yeah. Make an inside check.
God fucking damn it. Okay. 9.
9. I mean, you look him in the eyes, and you don't see anything unusual, like anything in his eyes, anything in his face that sort of gives it away. And he looks to Dubrovko and kind of gives him a shrug.
Look, he was alone with these vines, with whatever this was, and he survived. He might be the sole survivor of this. Hopefully he's not. I'm trying to figure out why. I know that you're a magic user.
I was able to teleport out of the grasp of the vines.
Erland's watching very closely when this is happening.
Sure.
And I'm kind of, like...
Dubrovko. Ask him a question only Cyrus would know.
Hey.
Okay. What is my real last name?
You want me to say it?
Just say it to me.
He leans in. Okay.
Madison.
He is who he says he is.
Can we focus on the real problem
Can
here?
Orba just look up and say, "Are you sticking to the objective of getting the man?"
Can you?
Well, we have now a more urgent objective of getting you out of there.
No, we're okay. Please go get the man.
Can you get to the man from down there?
That's what I was thinking. Can I, like, you said there's vines hanging?
Yep.
Can I try to, there's a floor.
Yeah. There's a floor of vines, like, above you.
Oh, can I try to, like, hold on to one of the vines and walk across?
Sure, you kind of grab one step and you walk carefully, and you hear kind of squish from the vines. They're not, hard. They have a little but you seem to be able to be traversing it kind of as you go along.
So just keep going towards the direction that I would have wanted to go on.
Sure, that
But the further
man-
away she gets from us, the less we'll be able to communicate with.
Yeah, as soon as she moves another 20 feet, only Orba will be able to, like, you
I'm going to try to walk across down here.
Should we join you?
No.
Give me a moment.
So please be careful.
So I keep
You
going.
make your way. You sort of grab from Vine. You're stepping sort of lightly on the floor, moving across, and you make your way down. You get to the end, kind of. It's similarly shaped to the level above you, and there's sort of a wall of some mossy rocks, a little bit of vegetation, but it seems to mark the end. So there's a vine, in front of you going up that you could.
Can I try to go up the vine?
Sure, make an athletics check.
Be careful. Is that good? That's a ground.
18.
18. So you take one, and the vine has some sort of like leafy sprouts, and you sort of get your hand there where it's not going to slip down the vine, and you grab it, and you hoist, and you grab the next one, and you're able to pull yourself up, and now you're up, kind of, there's vines above you, like a vine ceiling,
Yeah.
but you're all the way up at the top of this area.
And then if I'm up here, can I like go one more and just like try to punch through it?
Sure, you give it a punch, and it kind of, like it's squishy. You could try to cut it.
Can I try to cut it?
Sure, yeah, you sort of take out a knife, and you while you're holding it.
Sorry.
Don't do that. And you take a cut, and it sort of opens up a little bit, and the vines kind of open, and there's a little hole at the moment. Not really one you could fit there. You could keep cutting, or
Can I cast can I cast Ray of Frost at the splitty bips?
did you follow her over there? Because she's now probably 80 plus feet away from you. Because she's walked all the way down to where the end of this area is.
No, that doesn't have the proper range.
It also, you don't really have line of sight because there's a number of
I
these
see what
vines
you
kind of
mean.
blocking
Okay.
your
I want to
vision.
slash it again.
Sure, take a couple more hacks. And you are able to, it opens up for a moment, and this vine that you're holding onto is sort of attached up to the rock, and you can
I'm gonna
hoist
go
yourself.
up.
Right, you pull yourself up, and you guys see sort of Beezaura emerge on the other side.
By a guy.
Yeah, and you're right up in front of that tree where the guy is, and you can pull yourself up onto
Yeah.
it. And it's rock there, sort of a rock and sort of
I'll go
dirt.
up.
Great, you head up, and you take a look. And the man is attached to the tree with a number of vines, like these sort of wrapped around the trunk of the tree and him, and two vines are going up and into his mouth. And those vines kind of have a different hue to them. They have like a reddish hue to the vines. And he's breathing, but he's not moving.
He's alive, but he can't move.
But can you cut him free?
Should we join you?
Does anyone know what a red vine means?
Would any of us know? Can we check or?
It's not something that's outside of your knowledge.
Beezaura, what do you mean by a red vine?
He's got two red vines down his throat.
Give me a good reason
Hang
we
on.
shouldn't jump there and join you.
Give me a moment. So can I just like look at like exactly what I'm looking at? Like just so I can,
Sure, make an investigation check.
I don't really know what
Yeah.
I'm like. Three.
I mean, there isn't too much to see. I mean, you're up nice and close.
Yeah.
There's like, a number of vines binding him to the tree, and a couple of reddish vines that are up and into his mouth that are like going
I
down
feel like they're
his
like
throat.
poison. I'm nervous if we try to cut the vines, it'll poison him to death.
What do you mean? How are they?
The vines are wrapped around him and the tree. He's alive.
Is
The
it,
ones leading down his throat are red.
is it my brother? Describe him. What does he look like?
You describe him. It seems to be a brother, yeah.
I think it's
Really
him.
The description.
I want to go over there.
Sure. How do you want to go over there?
Can I use the climbing?
If they let you.
Why don't we all drop down and do what she did?
Look, do we think that there's a high probability that if we all drop down, then we're going to be? We don't know how this is going to react.
Look, you all seem like very capable people. But Ravi, I'll leave this one up to you. How do you want to go over there?
One person should stay here, for sure. And I think it should be you.
I can't teleport you out if I'm not touching you.
I want to go down and be... I want to be able to be near... It doesn't make me feel good that one of us is down there.
I agree.
Orba's still okay, right?
At the moment, it's hot down there. It's like you're sweating pretty good. And then,
Orba? What's going on down there?
It's hot.
What do you mean it's hot?
It's warm.
How warm?
Do you want it in Celsius or Fahrenheit? What do you mean how warm?
I mean, is it dangerously warm?
Orba,
not dangerous.
No,
do you want to
It's not
try to
like
make
she's
your
not,
way
like,
over to me?
suffocating.
I don't know if I can hear you. You're far from me.
Yeah, you're very. You're on a different level and very far. She
Just
can't.
please go after the objective, and I will wait patiently down here. There's nothing happening. It's just hot.
There seems to be a way to get back up once you're down there, yes?
I guess so.
We're coming down.
No, no. Orba barks from.
I think you should make the decision a little bit quicker than this.
I'm
It's
gonna
decision
hand
time,
him
yeah.
the
Yes,
climbing
please.
kit.
Every second we waste,
Yes.
your brother.
Are the vines turning like more red as we stand there? Or are they
Not
just
at the moment.
red?
Look, we need
Since
to
you've been
figure out a
standing
way
there,
to
I
free him. I think we can go down and try to come up. You take this climbing kit and climb around. Be very careful. And so I'll give it to him, and then I'm gonna jump down onto the vines.
He's right. We need Cyrus over there because we can all climb or walk back, but my brother, if we are to free him, will not be able to.
Cyrus will come with me and Sarah underneath.
Cyrus is the most important. I think he should take the climbing kit, and we should go.
Then take the climbing kit, Cyrus.
So I'm gonna jump down onto the vines.
Great. You sort of take a good like running leap.
Yeah.
And you sort of thud for a moment. Nothing kind of happens, and then the vines like quickly row up and pull you down underneath, and you see sort of falling like sort of thud. Safira comes like down.
You could have warned me. I would have caught you. You know.
You don't take
Sarah?
any-
Yeah, I'm down here.
You good?
Yeah.
I'm going to start climbing. Good luck. I'll see you on the other side.
And he sort of takes the kit. He sort of starts to hammer the thing. He wraps a little rope around. He's kind of like scooting, and he puts another one in. And he takes the other one out. He's slowly making his way along the side of the ridge.
I
And
just
that-
remembered something that the Lieutenant Colonel said to me. What's your Lieutenant Colonel's name again?
Massive.
Massive. I just remember. Doesn't matter now. Jump in with me.
And as I'm over there, can I be kind of like investigating how we're gonna get him out of this?
Sure. I mean,
I don't-
again, there's nothing more to see than what
what
I've
is
told
that?
you. You could try cutting the vines again. You said
And
it
he's
looked like that might hurt
breathing,
him. He is breathing. His chest is, as far as you can tell, he's breathing.
Can you hear me?
You don't get any response from him.
Can I try to touch him?
Sure. Where are you touching?
His shoulder.
Sure, his shoulder. Not like on the vines. Like you're not trying to pull
Yeah,
the
no,
vines.
just like him.
Touch him, and skin's warm, and he feels alive. He doesn't feel dead.
Can Orba start making her way towards Safira on the vines, and then as she passes her, start heading toward Beezaura?
Sure,
like
you guys
where
start to.
Beezaura
And have you two
ascended?
jumped down into this sort of second?
I did. Yes.
Great. And are you
How long
following?
would it take to go back and get that black flower thing that we saw?
Oh boy.
But that was back before you even got into the ravine.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you'd have to climb back over the landslide up the side of the ravine.
Right.
It's a little ways back.
No. Yeah, I'm gonna jump down too.
Great. You guys all sort of step in a moment, and it takes a second, and then the vines sort of creep up your leg and kind of pull you down. You kind of let it happen.
What
and
are
you
you
sort
all
of,
doing?
And you
Why
see
did
the
you?
bunch of them drop down.
I said to stay up there.
And you can see Cyrus sort of slowly making his way across, sort of one thing at a time.
Can I kind of make my way across to the same point where
Sort of
Beezaura
grabbing.
got up, and then can I try to climb?
So you guys are sort of making your way. Is everyone following her? Or are you going
Yeah,
one at a
yeah.
time?
Oh, yeah.
Great. You guys are. So you start to climb up.
Yeah.
Make an athletics check.
Oh God.
Game one.
1. So as you start to climb the vine, it's the same vine that Beezaura had.
Yeah.
And you get a little of the ways up, and then the vine at the top kind of snaps, and you start to fall, and the ground beneath you opens up,
Can we
and
grab?
it make a acrobatics check to see if you can grab it in time.
Acrobatics. I just choked.
I don't think that's good.
Doesn't sound good.
I don't think he's in the circus.
Acrobatics 20.
A 20. So you sort of, as you see her sort of jumping through, you dive out and you grab the edge of the vine, and it kind of and it closes around the top. So you've got it, but she's down below you.
Okay. Can Orba grab Erland by the waist too
Sure.
and try to just like, hold him?
Fuck it, Safira!
What do I see down there?
Okay, so you're now down. Do you have dark vision?
Yes.
Okay.
For
So down
60.
here, it's total darkness, whereas it was sort of dim light in the second level. And this third level now has total darkness, but you're able to see around you somewhat, thanks to your dark vision. And around you, you see discarded inorganic remains littering the ground everywhere. Bits of weapons, bits of armor, gold, silver, and bronze pieces.
So this looks like probably the soldiers were stripped of their...
Possibly
Yeah.
discarded pots, pans, like anyone who came, chains, anyone who came through here, the sort of discarded remains, inorganic, anything metal, anything
Can I see what
that
the
couldn't
floor
decompose.
is?
Yeah, you sort of look down below you, and the floor looks rock, it looks solid.
Okay.
And it's down here, it has this kind of earthly decomposition smell. Like it has this kind of garbage
This is a boneyard.
smell
Yeah, okay.
around you.
I get it. People are decomposing.
Should I say it? So it smells
Yeah.
like it smells like you're dying.
Okay, I got it. Okay, so I'm holding on to the vine. Can I take my sickle, which I have, and with... Well, is there any danger if I did that I would hit? Like...
Safira?
Who's holding me?
You can yell.
I've got you!
Look, it appears to be some kind of a boneyard down here. I don't think it's a good idea for me to remain, if at all possible.
Great.
Great.
Can someone...
Can
I help him?
Can I
Hold
kind
it?
of...
Yeah, I mean you're holding it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're holding it tight.
Can I kind of stab up at the vines?
Sure.
Make
Take a
sure...
couple.
can I see that where their feet are at all?
Where his feet are? No, it's thick. I mean, you can punch up through it, and you see little like blade kind of punching up through the vines.
I'm gonna...
Stop that! Stop that!
Wait, I can't take that seriously at all. It's so rough.
Can I cut, instead of her cutting up, why don't I cut down?
Sure, you can slice down into it. Yeah. So you go like sort of slicing down, and the vines kind of separate and snap again, like you've seen them do before, and they kind of snap, and the top of your vine snaps, and you fall down to the ground.
Oh,
Make an acrobatics check. See how graceful your fall was.
18.
18. So you hear the vine as it sort of creaks before it snapped off, and you are able to sort of set your feet, and you kind of you hit the ground. And now you're able to look around a little more, and you can see the vegetation growing wildly down here, like in and out of some of the inorganic pieces, like suits of armor have kind of moss and overgrown plants are sort of taking them over. And in addition to that, some of the roots emanating from the walls are moving, and there's like pushing things around, almost like scooting things, and then they'll retreat slowly, and they'll push kind of an armor or a weapon, and you see them kind of pushing around, and you also see some of these pools of green liquid around as well. It seems like sort of some kind of sediment mixed with something.
Are you okay?
Look, I'm fine. You need to continue to help please leave me down here for a moment. I'm going to investigate.
Get your brother. Start climbing, get your brother.
Alright.
Start climbing, making a athletics check.
Come on, baby.
As they do all of that, can I just
12.
start ritually using detect magic?
Sure. Yeah, it
'Cause
takes
it's
10 minutes.
Yeah, but
so
I have a feeling we're gonna be here a while.
sure. So you see Orba sort of start to sit and sort of collect herself and sort of let sort of the magical energy flow through her. She's starting to cast the spell. So you start to climb up a different vine, and you get up to the top. You're successfully able to get up, and you start hacking away at the top. Great. So you take out your blade and you kind of you do the same thing Beezaura did, and it opens up a little bit, and Beezaura sees you kind of peek out there.
Can I try to grab him and bring him up?
You grab him.
I got you!
And pull, she yanks you up, and the two of you come up onto the far surface, and you can see that Cyrus is like he's kind of about halfway there, maybe a little less. He's still sort of
all the
one thing
while.
at a time. Yeah. He's making his way slowly
Yep.
across.
Alright. Thank you. What what can you tell about these vines? How far down his throat are they? Can we pull them out, do you think?
I don't know if we really should try barehanded like that. I mean, one slip and it could poison him or poison us.
Well, we should cut him free from the tree first and then deal with the red vines last, yes?
That makes sense.
Cut
You
him
start
free.
to hack away at the vines, like wrapping around the tree. And as you do so, they give way a little bit. As soon as they start to feel it, they kind of snap and sort of tinker away. And he does come loose. He kind of starts to slump limp, and you catch him. And the only things remaining are the two red vines that are going down, and they go down past the vine lattice down to the layers below, the two red vines.
Oh.
Damn.
How's it? Oh, wait, no,
How do I figure out what they do?
Well, they come down
So-
into us, right?
Well, they go all the way down to her level, yes?
If they're down,
If you take a,
if,
want to take a
if
look
they're
around.
down
Yeah, I
below
do.
me now, can hear me?
Yeah, the people who, not Safira, but Erland
You're
and...
meditating or
Can I pull on them
Jamie.
gently to see if they will...
You want to pull on the red vine?
Yeah.
Sure, give me a strength check, just straight strength.
You got it, buddy.
Oh my god, your blood is hard.
Wait, is he yanking
4.
it?
4. So you start to give it a little tug, and it glows a little more red.
Okay, I stopped doing
You stop pulling.
Jamie!
And in addition to the pulsing red of the vine, Erland, Orba's kind of busy, but Erland, you look around you and you see a few plants kind of pulse a red color around you.
Whatever just happened,
And
I said don't do it again.
And Safira down at the bottom, a few more pulsing sort of red
Okay, and-
bulbs.
Is there? Can I see how large is this space?
It's about as big as the second floor. I mean, it's probably, 70 feet by 40 feet. I mean, it's a big
Okay,
open
and
area.
then these red things that pulse. Is there any? Is there any kind of central? Are they pointing in any direction? Like
They seem to. So the red vines that pulsed a little bit as well when he tugged on it
Yeah.
are running into these bulbs.
Okay.
What's going on down there?
What do you see?
1 second. Safira, what do you see?
It's the ladder all over again.
Hella far. Okay. These red flowers. They appear to be pulsing, almost like they're arteries, part of a larger organism. I think.
Did you just see the glow that I just
Yes,
saw?
I did.
Did you guys see the glow I just saw?
That's from the vines down his throat.
Don't do that again. It was from the vines down his throat.
There were no bulbs up in the top level where you guys are, just the vines, just the two red vines.
Okay.
Are they radiating any sort of heat or power?
Safira, are they radiating any sort of heat or power?
Can I get really close to one?
Sure. What do you want to do to it, or you just want to look
I
at it?
want to look at it.
Sure. Make an
first.
investigation. Yeah, make an investigation. Actually, make a nature check. So it's sort of your.
Thank
this
God.
is-
I don't know that loud, but okay.
13.
13. I
If
mean,
that's allowed.
you take a look at it and you sort of carefully move some of the other vegetation that's surrounding it, and it seems if you look up really close to the red vines, it looks like something's being sucked through it. Like there's a,
Oh, it's like a tube.
and it's coming from up down into these bulbs.
What do you see?
What do you see?
I think it's taking his blood.
I choose not to say that out loud for him.
Okay. You don't hear that.
Okay.
Look, Erland, I think it's taking his blood. If this is... There's got to be a way to sever the connection. I'm not sure how.
How long has it been since she's been meditating?
5 minutes.
Look, we can't wait very much longer.
This is all
It will-
happening in pretty much real time.
I
at the
know.
moment,
He'll
yeah.
die.
I know. Should you... But if you sever it, will it kill him?
I don't know. I don't know. But if I do nothing, I'm sure we don't know either way.
There are two vines going down.
So there's 2 vines coming down from the top. So 2 down from him, and then it splits into a number of them. And there's a few bulbs on your floor,
Okay.
and a few bulbs on Safira's
Oh,
floor.
oh, great.
It goes
So
down.
mine's
My area is a little brighter than hers, yeah?
Yes, the lighting is
the
better
lighting
here.
is
Yes.
great. Can I check out one? Can I check out one of the bulbs and
Sure.
To see what's going on with
Make
it?
a nature check, yeah.
8.
I mean, Safira sort of described what she saw, and it looks similar. It looked like if you look really up close to the red vines, it looks like it's siphoning down from him.
Can I... How wide is the vine? Is it like hand size?
Yeah, like a couple inches thick.
Very lightly, what happens if I start to squeeze it a little bit?
The vine or the bulb?
The vine.
The vine.
So,
So
if it's going into the bulb, I wanted to see what happens if I constrict it just a little bit.
Cool. As you start to do that, the vine glows again, and the bulb kind of swells a little bit, and then as you let go, it gets smaller again.
Do I notice anything happening down there on my
I mean, no, he was holding...
Hello?
Yes.
Listen, I have an idea.
All right.
These bulbs, I have no idea how these plants will attack us if we try to attack it. I don't know if we'll even survive. But frankly, we're not getting out of here. These bulbs seem to be like some kind of artery. It's like a heart. This is what's controlling the movement of the fluid through them. If we can destroy these bulbs, I think we might have a shot of first of all, getting out of here. Secondly, saving his brother.
Or it kills his brother.
Or it kills all of us. But otherwise, we're just going to be sitting down here.
Has it been 10 minutes yet?
Getting close. And also now,
Cyrus
is getting close to you guys. I mean, he can talk to you. He can, and he's sort of like, he's getting there. He's getting close.
Yeah.
He's almost there.
I want to ask something. Can you ask up and see if he has any signs of blood loss? I just want to confirm my hypothesis.
Does your brother have any signs of blood loss?
You take a look. I mean, he looks very flushed, and like the veins in his sort of face and body.
He looks quite faint.
Do you see blood going through the tubes that are attached to him?
I'm looking through his throat.
It's hard to tell if it's blood, but it looks like fluid is moving through the vines. Yeah.
There is some fluid moving.
Okay.
We need to figure something out
I'm
fast.
going to try something. I'm going to try something, Erland. I'm going to stab one of these bulbs. I don't know what's going to happen.
Wait 2 minutes for the tiefling to finish.
And now Cyrus is he made his way over and he gets off on the island. What's going on?
Cyrus, it looks like the blood is going through the vines.
And he takes a look at him. He doesn't touch the vines, but he kind of. So what do we do?
Is there any sort of magic to make it stop?
You want me to sever the vines?
Is there a way to sever the vines without hurting him further?
I don't know. And by now,
Don't do
Orba's
it,
finished her thing. So you did detect magic as a ritual?
Yes.
What is the description of that
Sure,
exactly?
yeah.
How does it?
So,
Just so I know.
yep. For the duration, you sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you. If you sense magic in this way, you can use your action to see a faint aura around any visible creature or object that bears magic and learn its school of magic.
Great.
It penetrates barriers.
Great. So as you open your eyes after sort of performing the ritual, this blinding aura of light all around you, all the vines, all the bulbs, everything has this aura of magic around it. Everything that you can see in this lower area.
It's all with like the same intensity too.
Yeah, I mean it's dull, but because everything's glowing, it appears, fairly bright. I mean, it
Okay.
looks-
Orba's like covering her eyes, and she's like, "It's all magic. All of it's magic. All of it's bad. Let's whatever."
Where's the magic coming from?
Everything. I can't identify a source. It's just
It
all
only
the same.
shows her what's magical. It doesn't show where it's from.
And so these vines, if I followed where the blood goes in these vines, can I do that?
It goes to the bulbs.
To the bulbs, but is there like a
Stops.
mother bulb? Like, is there anywhere?
The bulb is planted in the ground, like it could go into the soil. Like you can't tell. As far as the blood that goes into these bulbs, and that's where it stops.
All right.
How many bulbs are down there, Safira?
I think there's 4 down there.
How many are on my floor?
5. I think that's yeah.
Or we're
And
just
there's
whacking
nine on
at
the
these
top.
bulbs
There's no-
because it's
there's
very
no-
bright.
Look, I genuinely don't see any other way forward. I think we have to do something quickly, otherwise he will lose too much blood and he will die.
Cut the tubes at the nose, or cut. Do I know that the tubes are attached to his face?
I think you've relayed this
Yeah, yeah.
information. Yeah.
Cut the tubes at his mouth, so we don't have to cut 7 tubes.
You sure about that?
No.
Get ready to wake up something really nasty, by the way.
It's awfully close to his face and his body. Is there any way to cut off the magic at a less dangerous spot?
Look, I
Is it-
think
if
I should.
If the vines are in his mouth and they go down, can I cut towards his feet?
You could, yeah.
So, should we
And then, like,
what do we
tie
Hanging
them.
out of his mouth.
should we cut? Should we cut our bulbs?
I think we need to hit the bulbs. Hit the at the bulb.
Look, I'm gonna strike at one of these. I'm gonna see what happens, and then we're gonna go from there if I'm alive.
I feel like we should get the vines out of his face first before we attack the bulbs.
Should I try to pull on one?
Safira's doing something. Stand near a bulb.
Okay.
I'm gonna stand near another bulb as well.
Stand far away from the
No,
bulbs.
we're in this with you. Just do the bulbs.
And like,
Can I take
Time is of the essence
Yep,
here.
I'll take a
Shut up, Silas.
Cyrus.
and just stab it as hard as I can. With
At the bulb? Make an
Yeah.
attack roll against the bulb.
No, you
Yeah.
have my dagger.
Oh my god! And would that be? Oh, I use my. What
Your
are you
sickle,
using?
yeah. You'd be using your sickle.
Oh yeah, okay.
And you didn't shoot an arrow at it. Or you didn't
11.
say you did. 11. So you take your sickle and you kind of take a breath and go into it, and it pierces the skin of the bulb, and the bulb kind of blood dribbles out the wound of the bulb, and it starts to deflate. And up at the top,
Yeah.
you take a look and then he goes dark again. He
opened his eyes.
open, and then
Whatever you did, do it again. More.
and as this is happening on the second floor where Erland and Orba was, the ground begins to shift, and a mold of vines starts to come together into sort of a ball, and a viney sort of hand comes
Oh,
up out of the
gosh.
ground, and I need everybody to make initiative rolls.
Here we fucking go.
Shit.
Unleash the board.
Oh! There it is.
That does nothing for initiative, though, does it?
No, I mean it does. You get to go
A natural
first.
20, you get to go first.
Where's the initiative thing?
Where's initiative?
At the
It's
top.
on your front page.
At the top, right?
Yeah, middle top.
I got 12.
Oh no. No.
Welcome. Where is the?
Right here.
Where's the what now?
Oh,
Are you rolling that? I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Take it out.
So this is the top floor.
Okay.
This is where you guys entered into this area. This is the area where your brother is tied up to a tree here in the back. So, Beezaura and
Let's get some Skittles going.
Beezaura and Dubrovko. The tree is like right here.
yeah.
And also Cyrus are all up there on the top. This is the area that had the lattice of vines that they fell down through. So Safira, this is the second floor.
Yep.
This is the third floor.
Yep.
Safira is down here next to one of the bulbs that you just popped.
Yep.
And you said you had run over to another bulb.
Yeah, we're
we
both
were
at
Both
bulbs.
next
other bulbs.
different bulbs. Great. So Erland's at one of the bulbs.
Like really close
Yeah,
to each
can-
other.
can we
like
do the
su-
ones that
like
are
su-
closer?
Like super
There.
close to each other.
Or these two, or these
Wait,
two?
where was like so?
We
the
were
end
beneath
of the
fence,
hallway.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you're closer to
so yeah,
below
we'd
me.
be
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
good idea.
Right.
Yeah, just, yeah, you got it.
And then is that everybody? Yeah.
All right. Initiatives.
And then this is the creature that came up out of the ground.
Oh, wow.
Of course it is. That's
Right next to
That's
me. Isn't
some
it?
viney creature.
All right.
When we
Take
talk
your time,
about
Matt.
protecting Orba.
There's only one creature.
13 for the creature that came up.
Okay, so do we have 20 to 25?
22.
Yo.
Anybody else? How about 15 to 19? How about 10 to 14?
Me.
12.
14.
14, 12, and I had a
And
10.
he has 13.
Sorry, 14, right?
Yeah.
Who had what?
The creature has 13.
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you. Yes,
13,
I forgot
sorry.
about that.
And actually, this bulb is popped.
13, 12, 10.
Oh.
Monster. 14 was Safira.
That's me.
12 was Beezaura. And then me. Okay. 5 to 9.
9.
Shit.
I'm gonna spell your name very wrong.
What did Cyrus
Ravi,
get?
R-A-V-I.
What about Cyrus?
Ravi.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Cyrus. Oh
5.
Oh, God.
Y'all are useless.
I didn't like that guy the moment I saw him.
All right, sir. If you wouldn't mind putting that on its perch, is that okay? You are just not long enough.
No, just
Just barely
shockingly.
not long enough. All right, we're good.
Okay.
All right. So the creature ascends sort of out of the vines, and flowers and vines from the walls seem to like reach out and attach to it, and it kind of curls and it becomes sort of bigger up out of the ground. And who's up first? Who we got?
Erland.
guy.
It's Erland. All right, what you doing?
Erland's great. Erland's gonna first close his eyes real quick, open them, focused intently on the creature, start making a beeline towards the creature.
Towards the creature?
Towards the creature.
All the way up to it?
Right up to the creature.
Sure.
Trying to put himself in between the creature and Orba as much as possible.
She's next to it. But
Great.
Yikes.
As I'm running towards the creature, I'm gonna say, we need everyone down here now. To the people.
Sure. You give it a yell as you're running along. You can hear that.
And then I'm going to two-hand it in an attempt. So on the opposite side that Orba is, I'm going to swing the quarterstaff
Sure.
at the creature.
Sure. Make an attack.
This thing better not have 3 gazillion HP.
I haven't done this in a while. 13 to hit.
13 to hit. 13 hits. Roll for damage.
So which one's the D8? I've never recognized
Yes,
this
it does. Well,
This is the D8, yeah?
Fine.
I'm doing this right?
Correct, yes.
So because I was using two-handed, I get to do D8.
Sure.
Yeah. 3 damage.
3 damage. Great. So you run up and give it a good whoosh, and it hits the vines, and the vines kind of do that thing where they snap, and then they kind of reassemble after they
And then
snap.
I'm gonna do.
And the creature recoils a little bit.
I'm gonna send a knee into its stomach as well.
Sure. Additional unarmed strength.
Yeah. 6 to hit.
Six misses. So as you go in, the vines kind of separate a little, so the punch goes wide.
And then can I use a key point as a bonus action to do Step of the Wind? Patient Defense.
It says as a bonus action.
It
right?
says as a bonus
Yep.
action, but that's not my unarmed strike. Is not a bonus action, is it?
What is unarmed
Oh
strike?
boy.
I think it is.
When you use an attack with an unarmed, you can make one unarmed strike as a bonus action.
Yes,
so
so-
you haven't taken. So I can't do 2 bonus
No,
actions.
but one bonus action. Yeah.
Wish I'd have known that before I did the other thing. Great. So then.
Okay. I mean, you give it a good whack, and the vines it shudders a little bit from the impact.
Great.
All right. Who's up?
Safira.
Safira. What you doing?
Okay, so I want to. There are 4 of these around me, right?
There are 4
Yeah,
or no
well,
3.
3
You
now.
popped this one. It has like
so
a
I
pool
want to
of
run up to the
blood
one
and sort of.
that's
Ow.
nearest to me
Mm-hmm.
and
This
pop it.
This is like one of those green pools, so you have to go around it. So,
Okay,
What's
okay.
your movement? 5, 10, 15, 20, 20. I mean,
it's-
that's only
That's
25.
30 feet, right?
Great. 25.
Okay, so I want to take my sickle and stab it.
Great. Make an attack roll.
Okay. 13.
13 hits. So you go for the sickle, and the same thing. It kind of pierces through, and for a second, it kind of, and then it sort of depresses into a pool of sort of blood on the floor. And again, up at the top, you see like a, and then his eyes go out again.
Every time you pop one, he
You can't
becomes...
actually see that all the way down there.
He's becoming more alive. For some weird reason.
Do I still have movement? I
You have
30
5 feet of movement left.
So can I move towards the other one?
Like there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Monster.
All
And
right.
that's all I can do, right?
Yeah, unless you're
Beezaura.
No, monster.
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 I
Monster.
thought
Great.
I could just skip his
So the
turn.
creature
Yeah,
sort of
right.
getting the hit from the quarterstaff, it sort of turns towards you as much as it has a facing side, and it sort of reaches out with these 2 vines that sort of whip out at you, and it's going to make 2 attacks against you.
Against who?
Erland. 13 to hit.
13 misses.
13 misses. So the first vine kind of whoosh, goes whipping out, and you dodge down. And second attack. 16 to hit.
16 hits.
16 hits. Great. You take 6 bludgeoning damage. So the vine kind of whips out and whoosh, sort of hits you on the shoulder, causes a little bit of recoil. And it's also going to attempt to grapple you with the vine that it hit you with. So the vine kind of whipped out and it grabs you by the shoulder with the vine and sort of lurches towards you. Make a athletics or acrobatics, whichever is higher.
Athletics or acrobatics?
Yep.
Right. 6.
6, so you're grappled. So the vine kind of whoosh, 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 wraps around you and it holds you in place there, so you can't move from that spot until you escape the grapple. Right? Beezaura, you're up.
Do I have to go back down there?
You don't.
Well, what else am I supposed to do? Just stand there?
Well,
Alright.
Beezaura summons the strength to go on.
I slide down the vine.
Great, so you sort of do the same. You stomp a little bit, and the vine kind of pulls you down. And it's gonna pull you down, sort of right there, down where you were on the other side. And you see Beezaura kind of descend down the vine.
How far away is the creature?
The creature,
Far.
5, 10, 15. Well, you have to get around them. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 feet.
Or should I just pop a thing?
Popping a thing might not be a bad idea.
I'm gonna go over to that.
But do we know that popping things?
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, we told them that what we were doing. We told them we were popping.
Did you tell them that Safira was popping it?
Yeah, isn't
I
did it
don't
not?
think we did.
No,
I
we
don't
didn't.
think
Never
so.
mind. All right.
So this turn, I'm gonna say you don't know to pop them.
Can I talk to them?
You can, but next round you can pop them because I'm gonna say you have to coordinate with them in some way. He's in the middle of fighting the beast, and he's grappled by the.
I'll
plant.
go up to the beast then, because no one likes to communicate.
Beezaura's all about communication.
Yeah,
Definitely.
very communicative.
Great, make an attack
Right.
roll.
I take out my flare.
She goes charging forward.
And I add. Oh, I was supposed to roll the other one.
Huh?
Oh
No,
no.
it's a d20 plus. It says 2 hit next to your.
Next to the flare.
Yep.
18.
18 hits. Roll
Nice.
for damage.
That's the D8, right?
yeah.
Yeah, the damage that's next.
This one.
Does that ungrapple me?
It does not.
7.
7 damage, great. So you swing the flail and sort of the spikes on the flail hit into the vines and it kind of sends a couple of vines snapping through. And it seems like you did a pretty good hit there. It kind of punches through and it kind of recoils and it drags Erland with it a little bit as it kind of recoils, but he's still vaguely in the same spot, but it just has its vines wrapped around him. Great.
And then isn't there something I can do?
So you can use your superiority dice, which is your new thing that you got.
Yeah.
Go to your abilities page.
Right here.
Yeah.
This thing, right?
Yeah, but go to the
Oh.
one that has the descriptions.
Behind it.
Yeah. And there's there's rally, there's goading
Right.
strike, there's a couple of those.
Spend one spirit to bolster resolve while you're comparing.
That's a heal for an ally, the
Oh,
rally
right.
one.
The goading.
The goading one is to try and tempt it into attacking just you
No.
instead of allies.
Okay.
And then what's the last one? Distracting strike?
Yeah.
That one gives a teammate advantage on an attack against it. So it makes
who's
him easier
after
to
me?
Me.
Orba?
Orba, yeah.
And he has Erland.
Yes.
Yeah, he has it wrapped up in the vines.
So I could do that so she has more power to get rid of Erland.
You would have an advantage on the attack against the monster. So she would be able to hit it easier with an attack.
Oh, so I can do that.
Yeah.
No?
No. God, no. Do your thing.
I mean, isn't that helpful?
It also does additional damage as well. So,
Right.
Yeah.
I'll try.
Great.
I,
So
I can use that whenever, right?
Yeah, you can use 4 of them. You have 4 until you rest later.
4 of these?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, I can do it.
Yeah. So roll a d8, and you add that damage. You did 7 before, so plus
Plus 3.
3. So 10 total damage. Great. So you sort of make an advancing strike, and you sort of give it a yank out of the vines, and it kind of peels through and rips a couple of the vines apart. And read the description on that. The
Distracting strike.
distracting strike. Yeah.
When you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can expend 1 superiority die to distract the creature, giving your allies an opening. You add the superiority die to the attack's damage roll. The next attack roll against the target by an attacker. The next attack roll against the target by an attacker other than you has advantage if the attack is made before the start of your next turn.
Great. So the next ally that tries to attack it gets advantage on their attack. Great. Great. Dubravka, welcome to
No, it's
combat. Oh, Orba. I lied. Goodbye from combat. And we'll welcome you later.
Orba gets the advantage.
Quick question.
Yes.
Would I know how grappling interacts with something that has a pushback?
Theoretically, if it pushed them out of the creature's range, it would release them from
He
the
would
grapple.
release Erland, technically.
If it pushed them far enough, yeah.
Okay. Orba's gonna slam her fists or palms together and cast Thunder Wave.
Okay.
So it's gonna be a square, and I want to get that bulb to my right and
Okay.
the creature. Can I place something that is effectively hitting both?
What is it? How big is the square?
Sorry. 15-foot cube.
15-foot cube. So the problem is you have to include yourself in a 15-foot cube to hit that bulb. Because you can't place the cube.
And it's a ridge. Okay, so I would have to make a saving throw as well or something? Is that?
Yeah, if you cast it on yourself.
She has advantage though,
Do I
right?
have to make
No.
a saving throw as well?
No, she can position it in a way that does not hit you. It could be these.
Yeah. Alright, never mind. I just have to do it at the vine creature then.
Okay.
Exclude the bulb.
Yeah.
Sure.
Alright, so the creature has to make a constitution saving throw.
12.
Let me see. Thunder Wave. Constitution 13, he fails.
13 fails. So what does he take?
So
there?
he takes 2d8 and is pushed 10 feet away from me.
Great. So Orba summons this sort of clap of thunder and it pushes him away. He pushes him 10 feet.
Yep.
So he's pushed back and the vines kind of release from Erland as it pushes back. And roll the damage for him.
Okay, 2d8. 8. 16 damage.
Oh!
So the clap gives you hear the boom crack of the thunder wave and the inside of the vines where you sort of the point where you hit it like expands as if you blew up a balloon of the vines and it kind of and it blows back and it kind of goes down in like a sort of heap in the corner, but it gets back up, but you gave it a good walloping.
Please tell me you all just saw that. Please tell me you just saw that.
Good job, Orba.
And then Orba's gonna run. Orba's gonna run to that back bulb and get ready to smack it.
This one?
No, I'm good. Yeah, the furthest to me. Yeah.
Sure.
All right, and that's my turn.
All right. So you're up. So you have some skills that you have, and you also, on your first page, your weapons in the bottom center, I think? Yeah, so you have like a bow, and you have a sword as well.
Yeah.
And then your movement is on there. So where's the movement speed? It's up near the top, I think.
Yeah.
So each square is 5 feet. So you have like, what, 30 or 35?
I'm 30.
Yeah, so you can move 6 squares on the board.
Gotcha.
Or you can duck down like Beezaura did through the thing. So right now you're next to your brother who, after the bulbs popped, there was a little life in him, but he's limp there now, still next to the tree.
Right. Yeah, I gotta jump down and help take down this fine guy.
Great. So you sort of jump to the vines, and you hear as you're sort of jumping, Cyrus gives a shout, and he's like, "Should I look after your brother?
Yes.
I'll stay up here."
You'll be next.
Duh.
And you jump, vines come through, and you come down.
As he lands next to me, can I just go bulbs?
Sure, yeah, you yell bulbs.
Seems like
Yell
that's
bulbs.
enough. That's enough of a hint for me.
If you think so, yeah.
Yeah.
If you attack the bulb, you won't be able to attack the creature, so you can only make one
Right.
attack per turn.
But she fucked up the creature pretty good on her last turn, right? She did. All right. I want to take out a bulb.
Great. So you take out your short sword and you kind of jam it in and it pierces. Make an attack roll. So roll a d20 like you've been rolling. And next to your weapon, it says to hit, like next to your short sword.
So I add.
Yep, you add that number.
22.
22, that hits. Yeah, so the sword goes piercing in and it pierces and the ball pops. You see the blood spray everywhere. And nobody's up top except for Cyrus to see him, but another sign of life. I mean, he sort of lurches and then leans back against the tree.
Cool. So now I have another action, right?
No, so that was an attack act. You could move more if you want to.
Okay.
But you can't make another attack this turn.
Gotcha.
Cyrus is up top. Or you can stay there, yeah, if you want to. Or you can move towards another bulb.
Can I move towards that next bulb closest to me?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
So you can stay there.
Great.
Alright, Cyrus is up top. And he sort of has seen the two of you jump down through the thing, and he's gonna give a quick shout. Should I come down or should I stay up here?
Stay up there.
Alright. And he's gonna stay. I mean, he's gonna wait.
Right?
Can you cast any spells from
quick.
there?
I can't see anything. I mean, he can't see down into it.
How's he doing?
some signs of life. And we'll say that's as much as you can yell.
How's his heart rate?
Great. So we're headed back up to the top. As that happens, Safira down in the sort of depths.
Oh
Some of the plants start to separate themselves from the walls and start to come out.
Okay.
And you can hear them kind of sort of separate vines and branches from the walls.
Okay.
And you're gonna see a few other. They're not as big as this guy, but a few other creatures kind of pop out.
It looks very impressive.
Other sort of vine creatures.
Okay. No. Anytime you're planning on.
They're not as crazy as that guy, but there's only 17 of them, and they're huge
So
plants.
their action at the end of this round is sort of detaching themselves from the wall. Yeah.
Sure.
So they're not going to go, but they'll all be after Cyrus. So
Okay.
each of these plants kind.
that.
But
Okay.
you see this. I mean, you see the plants start to separate from the wall, and sort of they look like a couple of them have like sort of thorny branches. One of them has like a sort of a long loose vine that it's kind of whipping back and forth.
Okay. Sure.
Great.
All right, Erland.
Does so Beezy's attack, did it shift its attention to her? Was that what I saw from the action? I just didn't.
It's hard to tell at the moment, yeah. I mean, Orba gave it a good push, so right now it didn't seem like it was focused on anything yet. It was sort of,
But it's her.
yeah, you did, yeah. I mean, you did a lot of damage to it. It's a mass of, like, plants and vines. It's hard to tell when it's, like, injured, but
Right.
it seems like you gave it a good
Damaged
walloping, yeah.
So how many feet away from it, isn't it? How many feet away from
10
it?
feet away.
It's
10 feet.
It's 10 feet. Do I have enough movement to get to it and then to the bulb to the right of me? But if I go to him first.
This one?
No, the bulb further.
This one?
Where's the thing?
The further. No,
This
the
one?
one. The last
That
one.
one?
That one, yeah. Do I have enough
Yes.
movement to get to him and then leave?
Yes, but remember, as you leave, he gets an attack of opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah, but yes, you have enough movement to do that, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go up to the bulb to my right first.
Okay.
So it's
Just 5 feet of movement.
great. I'm gonna attack that.
Great, give it an attack roll.
Natural one.
Natural one. I mean, you go for the whack, and the bulb itself doesn't move, but it seems like the vines, in an effort to protect itself, it kind of like shrinks it down into the corner as you go for it, and your quarterstaff hits the wall, and it kind of pulses back up.
Okay, I'm gonna use. Okay, I'm gonna use just my bonus.
Sure, just a
extra
sort of
attack. Yeah.
So after the
Can't
Trying
swing,
to step on it. After.
yeah, you give it a stomp.
Can't live with that one.
Come on, man. 8 to hit.
8 does not hit, so you go for the stomp, and it seems like it might need a weapon because you go for the stomp, and your foot doesn't break through the membrane of the bulb, so it kind of squishes, but it doesn't pop in the way that the weapons were able to do.
Okay, then I'm gonna take my remaining movement to sort of get behind Beezaura.
Oh. Erland, fancy meeting you here.
That's my turn.
All right, Safira.
Okay, so I see these things, but I'm not interested in them. I'm gonna go for the bulb.
Okay.
Move up to the bulb
Sure.
and stab it.
Make
with
an
my
attack
sickle.
roll.
19.
19 hits, so you go for the slice, and just as before, penetrates, and you pull it, and it kind of rips a tear in the bulb, and it.
You're flooding in blood right
Yeah,
now.
there's a lot of blood on the floor, but they pop.
Okay.
And you
So
hear,
gross.
you can't hear it, but you guys down, you hear Cyrus yelling down, he's, a little life in him yet! He seems to be yelling down that he showed another sign of life.
Okay, and from where I am now, can I like hit the next bulb with an arrow? I know I can't now because that's another action, but just would I have to move?
You can't shoot. You would need a line of sight.
Can I move so that I have a line of sight?
Sure.
Nice.
I mean, what's the range on your bow? I think it's long.
It's long. It's
You would need a line of
I
sight.
don't know where.
I would like a line of sight.
listed elsewhere.
Yeah, it's not here.
I think it's. I mean, it's only 60 feet away. I'm pretty sure you can hit that. So
Okay.
that's,
Okay.
yeah.
I
I
can
mean,
look.
you could shoot it. Yeah, from there.
Okay. And that's the only thing I can do. Yeah.
Okay.
Do these, when I hit the bulb, do I notice these creatures do anything?
I mean, they seem to react negatively. They don't seem to get stronger or show any, but they sort of, as soon as you pop the bulb, there's a lot of like rattling of vines and things, but
Okay, good.
they
I'm
didn't
glad I
like
pissed them
it,
off.
is
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
All right.
They're not clapping for you. That's
All right. So the monster sort of feeling the effects of the pushback and the it's gonna go lurching forward. It kind of like slowly like stomps forward with these sort of big, not hands, but sort of these vine masses that kind of pushes into the floor, sort of moving forward.
Just in case it matters, I want to be clear that I was one-handed on the quarterstaff, just in case it
Oh,
matters.
okay, sure. Yeah. And it's gonna take both of its attacks against Dubrovko, standing there. So it's 16 to hit. Now look at your armor class that's up near the top.
Yep.
What's the number there?
13.
13. So that hits. So it's high enough to hit. So you take 6 bludgeoning damage. So the vine comes out and it sort of wraps around.
Oh no!
And it takes a second vine. And that vine, 15 to hit.
13. Yeah.
So 15 hits. So both of them. Oh, roll damage for that. You take 7 more damage.
Oh my god.
So you
Wow.
feel you get the hit and the other one, and it takes the vines and it pulls you forward, and the vines kind of envelop him inside the beast. So you're inside him at the moment.
Oh my god, so if we
I think he ate him!
if we attack the vines, I think we deal damage to Dubrovko.
Nah, that's fine.
Is
Yeah,
that
so
true?
you've been engulfed by the creature. So you guys see this. I mean, he gets engulfed by the creature.
So how many hit points did I just?
It was 6 and
13.
then 13 total lost.
What are you at? Can we know?
12.
You have 12 left?
Everyone else.
We have like 8 hit points.
So
altogether,
is he
so-
like in him or just holding him?
You can see his like limbs, but he's in the creature. Like there's vines wrapped around, like he's in the middle of it. Yeah.
Oh my god.
He's been engulfed by it.
Okay.
All right.
My turn.
Easy.
Okay. Okay. I need to attack him somehow.
You now also have seen a couple of people pop bulbs. You seem to
Yeah.
understand that that's what people were attempting to do.
But that doesn't save him. Oh, it doesn't really matter. Well, I got.
It doesn't really matter.
I mean, it does, but we have to get through the thing. The only way to get through the thing is to have him.
It might. The bulbs might be connected to these creatures.
True. Okay, where's the closest bulb?
Right here.
I'll go towards that with my flail.
Great. So you go run forward, make an attack roll.
13.
13 hits. So you run forward and you bring the flail down and the spikes of the flail hit it and it kind of pops in a big like sort of.
Got all over my face.
Your catchphrase.
Another one
Fantastic.
pops. Great. One of the bulbs pops.
That's it, right?
Great. Yeah. Unless you want to move more, you have more movement. You can move towards one of the other bulbs or.
How much more movement do I have?
I think. What is your total movement? 25, 30?
25.
So you can move 3 more squares. So you can move up to there.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
only
yeah,
his
yeah.
range.
Why not?
If you stay within his range, he doesn't get an attack for free against you.
Okay.
Orba.
How
got?
is this like ratio of person to monster accurate? Like him inside, how much of the monster is not occupying him?
Yeah, I mean the creature is large, so there's these sort of viney limbs are. He's not inside those. Like
Okay.
it has like a central sort of torso body part that he's engulfed in, and then it has these sort of vine limbs.
Right. Okay. All right. I'm gonna throw out my palm and cast Chill Touch, and I'm gonna have the hand appear like up at the top of his body, if that's possible. Just whatever's furthest away from where he is inside.
Sure.
So I'll have my hand appear, and I have to make an attack.
Sure. You can attack roll.
18.
Oh.
That's a 23.
23 hits. What kind of damage is that? Also?
Necrotic.
Okay, great. Yeah, hits. Roll for damage.
Okay, 1d8. Oh, I'm just thinking. That's a 6.
Great. So the hand sort of grabs at the vines and tears away at it, and you hear a couple of the vines snapping. And the precision of the spell is enough that it doesn't seem to harm him. I mean, you were able to. You see.
I got you, baby.
Doing good.
That didn't hurt me.
Anything else?
Can I shout down to Safira? How are you doing?
You can yell a brief response back to her. Yeah.
I'm alright, there are a few people down here, but I'm fine.
People?
Not
Okay.
people. That's not one.
Plant people.
Okay, and then I think Orba's just gonna take like another 5 feet backward, just closer to me, literally me. What do you want me to do, bud? I already got you on grapple. Alright, and that's my turn.
Great. So, Dubravka, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. So there's a section called saving throws in the upper left.
Yes.
Right. So roll the same die, the d20 die.
Okay.
Because I know it.
It's an 11.
Plus.
Throw modifiers plus. Can I choose?
No, Constitution.
Oh, Constitution.
Yep.
My bad. Plus 1. Oh, 12.
12. So 12 fails. So you're as the sort of mound of vines sort of grabs you, it's suffocating you. It's kind of like squeezing you tight, and you're gonna take an additional
Jesus.
8 damage.
Oh my god!
As it sort of squeezes you tighter into its body.
This is like making me have like a heart.
And so the only thing you can really do because you're restrained is attempt to escape from it.
Right.
So you can make a escape attempt, which.
Right. So I have some of these. I have escape artist.
Sure. What's the text on that?
If you are grappled,
Artist.
restrained, or prone, you may use a bonus action to shed that status with no penalty to your movement for the turn.
Yes.
Moving away from a creature that had grappled or restrained you still triggers an attack of opportunity.
Sure. So
that's
do you
very
wish to use
appropriate.
that?
Yeah.
Great. So so
That's
Dubravko,
a
like,
please.
he gets his hand around one of the vines and he's able to sort of push it up in a way that opens up a hole in the middle of him that he kind of like pushes, and you push yourself out through it and you're able to unrestrain yourself from the creature. So you sort of jump out from
Wow.
it and it reaches out, but it can't quite grab its vines around you.
Look at
Can Orba
that.
say, it looks like we have someone superior than you, monk.
There's not enough time for witty remarks now. So you
Always
can still
time
make
for
an
witty
attack as well.
remarks.
That didn't count as
I can make an attack?
Yeah. Or you can run and pop a thing. You still have your regular.
Right. Because
You're right by a
we
thing.
keep doing damage to this thing, but like, how many more hit points does it have left?
It's you don't know that. Yeah.
All right, let me take out one more of those freaking bulbs.
Bulbs.
Great, you're right next to it. So make an
Yeah.
attack roll.
Yeah, 19.
19. Great. So you go leaping out of the vines and you kind of take your sword and you slice, and the thing kind of pops to the side and splatters the side of the wall with sort of a bloody residue.
He's better than
Great.
other companions we've had.
That's it.
Move away from the thing?
You can move. If you move out of its range, it gets a free attack against you.
Oh.
So that's up to you. You can
Then
run.
no.
Okay, great. Ding. Great. So Cyrus, seeing or
Cyrus.
hearing nothing other than, I mean, hasn't gotten any other instructions, so he's gonna remain there. So which means it goes to the plants over here with Safira. So.
This is a lot happening with this layer that we don't even.
I do have
So this plant is gonna, it sort of crawls up to you and it sort of flings out like a thorny kind of branch that it spews out and it kind of attempts to poke and stab you with. 15 to hit.
15 hits.
15 hits.
Nope, that was a weird way to roll
You
that.
take 2 piercing damage.
That's not
So it
bad.
kind of just runs up and it kind of like stabs at you with one thorn.
Cute.
And then,
Each plant gets a turn.
so this other one's going to do the same thing. Another one kind of, you can hear the branches kind of crackling as it goes across the ground. It's going to make another attempt to stab you. 5 to hit.
Misses.
5 misses. So it goes up and you sort of took the first attack and you see this one coming and you kind of dodge away from it.
Like, oh, you want some now?
And the bigger ones are
guy's
slower.
way
So it's not
scary.
the bigger ones. Yeah, so they're not able to reach you. They kind of like lumber along the floor
Did
and
he
they
just
go.
block my sight line?
The big one did block your sight line, yes.
He's gonna have to die.
And that's it. They're not able to reach it. The bigger mounds kind of move slower across the floor.
Okay.
Okay.
Do I get an
Erland.
attack of opportunity at all, or no?
No, because they didn't move out of range of you, yeah.
All right.
Safira, do you need help down there?
I'm fine. I killed the bulbs.
Alright. I can't reach that bulb on the far side with 40. I can't.
It looks like you can. It would trigger an attack of opportunity, but it looks like you can.
That guy's touching me right now?
Yeah.
Okay, then
Yeah, diagonally is
never
touching.
mind.
But you could reach the ball.
Beezy's got it. We're going to
Thank you for that vote of confidence, Alex.
gonna go two-handed strike with the quarterstaff. You're out of its body now, so I'm gonna baseball bat it again from the. There. Vision. Yeah, I'm just gonna baseball bat sort of at its
Great.
the chunkiest part.
Sure, you go for a big swing. Roll for attack.
8 to hit.
Why are you
Eight misses. You take a big swing, and the vines kind of retract a little bit, so it goes wide.
I'm gonna expend a key point to use. So if I use a dodge action, it means that they have disadvantage
On any physical, non-magical attacks, yes, get disadvantage.
Oh, would these be based on what she said? Would these be magical attacks?
No, the vines, those are physical, yeah. So far, you have not seen it use a magical attack.
Okay, great. I'm gonna expend 1 key point to use patient defense.
Great, so after swinging the staff, you sort of go into a sort of patient pose, sort of waiting for any potential strikes.
Yeah.
Great. Safira?
Useless.
Okay, so I see that this one's in front of me. And there's no way I can bend it like back and back.
The arrow, no.
What does that mean?
That means like,
Oh.
you know.
Curve the arrow.
So I'm gonna take my
Like
arrow
back
and
fingers,
shoot for that thing. Is there any modicum of a body that it has? Is there anything that looks vital to its survival, or is it just a mesh of
It's
vines?
like a mass of plant. I mean, there is like a central sort of husk, sort of.
Okay, whatever the central husk thing is.
Sure.
Do I have time? I probably don't have time to like go into my bag and dip it in the oil and like try to.
You would not.
Yeah. And they don't even respond to fire. I don't know why I'm doing that. So I'm gonna take my arrow.
Excuse me one moment.
Do you guys
I need to let it set for a bit.
Make an attack roll.
Okay. 22.
22 hits, roll for damage. And it's this one, correct? This one blocking your vision?
I'm taking all the bad luck from you guys. That's what's happening.
Is that a
Safira,
D3?
this one, the one blocking
Yeah.
yours.
All the bad luck.
Is this one D4?
Yes. And it's the top number on that one.
I was meant to roll D8, right? I'm sorry.
Are you
the
doing
longbow,
damage
right?
or are you doing the attack?
The
Sorry.
Damage.
the longbow.
Damage,
Sorry.
yeah, so
D8.
it's
Okay.
double
Yeah.
then.
That's alright.
It's
Yeah. Great.
Some
4.
Four damage. Great. So you loose the arrow and it jams in there and it kind of recoils a little bit. I mean, it seems like you hurt it, but it doesn't go limp. Yeah.
And I have movement. They'll get attacks of opportunity against me.
Mhm.
Is that a green pool in front of me? Can I not go
This,
through that?
you can leap over it if you'd like to attempt to do that.
I would like to attempt to
Make an
move.
So
acrobatics check.
jumping.
Oh god.
Did you make it?
17.
Great. 17. So you sort of step back and the plants kind of seem like they're going in on you and you take 2 big steps and whoop,
nice.
you hoist yourself
Yeah.
across. They do get an attack of opportunity,
Yeah, it's not
but
so hot.
you do make it
But it's so
across.
cool.
It's okay. It's okay.
So they're gonna both make attacks of opportunity. The first one, 8 to hit, 8
Misses.
misses, and the second one, natural 20. So the second one sort of catches your leg and the thorns on its branch kind of rake down your leg, and it kind of,
Oh no.
and some of the blood goes.
Okay.
And you take 6 piercing damage. And you still have movement. You still have 10 feet of movement, I think. Yeah. Or, yeah.
I think I'm okay where I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Going for the bulb.
Monster. All right.
Oh, darn it.
So seeing that Dubrovka was able to sort of escape from its grasp, it's going to turn its attention, and it's going to do a sort of like one arm one way, one the other, and the vines kind of, and one attack is going to be on Erland and one on Beezaura, as it kind of goes in 2 directions. Beezaura, 13 to hit.
No.
So the one vine goes wide against the wall,
Bye,
and then
boy.
this has disadvantages. That'd be 12 to hit.
Misses.
12 misses. So the two vines,
Yeah.
it splits its
Nice.
attention, and the two vines go wide, and you guys are able to dodge out from the attacks. And it is going to make an attempt to grapple. Seeing Beezaura so close to one of the bulbs, it's going to reach out with another vine and wrap it around. Make a athletics or acrobatics, whichever is higher. You get to pick whichever one's higher. 10 fails. So it reaches out and one of your legs wraps a vine around. So you're grappled, so you can't move from that spot without attempting to escape. And that's it. Beezaura, you're up. So you can attempt an escape, but it is an action, so you wouldn't be able to pop the bulb in addition to escaping. Or you can make an attack. You can still attack while you're grappled.
I could. I'm gonna escape.
Okay. Make another athletics or acrobatics, whichever is higher.
20.
20, great. Yeah, so you sort of yank your foot, and it even sort of almost pulls the creature a little bit. The force of your leg is a kind of, and you're able to yank your leg free. So you are able to get free of the grapple. So you're free to move as much as you want.
I'm gonna move towards the bulb.
Great. So you do move out of his range. So he's going to take a swipe at you as you move out of range. 17 to hit.
Nope.
No hit. Great.
Armor class of 19. Bitches.
So the vine goes stringing out, and you, knowing that the attack is coming, you sort of swing around with your shield, and the vine kind of clangs off the side of the shield.
She really doesn't.
Great. So you can't attack the bulb this turn, but you're there ready to do it.
I'm ready.
Orba, you're up.
Okay, remembering that she cast Ray of Frost on the vines and they seemed a little bit agitated by that, she's gonna throw her palm up and say, "Don't worry, Erland, we all have our bad days." And she's gonna cast Ray of Frost at the vines.
Make an
Erland
attack.
continues to ignore her.
Patient defense. Very zen.
Yeah, right.
Yo, dude.
What was
you
it?
talk a big game, but
Yeah, right.
Your mouth. 8.
8 misses. So the ray of frost kind of goes whizzing by and hits the ceiling. Some of the vines on the ceiling kind of shudder from the frost.
Erland, slight grin she can't see.
Orba just pouts and doesn't move.
Great. Dubravko, you're up.
You're just
Where am I
rooting
at?
against me.
So you're here in front of the creature.
Erland appreciates irony. Even when he's undead.
She's over by that bulb. I feel like I gotta attack the creature again.
Great. What are you attacking with? You probably want to use your sword, because
Yeah.
the bow you can't use up that close. Great.
Yep.
So you take a hack at it with
Yep.
one of your short swords.
Yeah.
Sure. Make an attack roll.
12.
And is that including the number
Yeah.
12? That 12 misses. So you go for the attack, and it's kind of just out of reach of your short sword. You can move if you have another ability. I don't know if you have another ability.
Can I jump down to the bottom level?
You could, yeah.
I'll do that.
Great. So you like stomp through the vines, and you feel that similar sensation as the vines kind of give way a little bit and let you, and you drop down,
On top?
No, not quite on top. Right next to.
Cool.
Wait, is that? Yeah, I think you are on top. Okay, so you drop down on top of this
Wow.
guy, and you're gonna deal some damage to
Supposed to
him.
happen?
Great. So you drop down,
Just like you drew it up.
and you sort of stomp down, and the creature kind of sinks a little bit, and it smells terrible down here. It has that kind of decaying smell.
Sure.
But you also from the fall make an acrobatics check. See if you hurt yourself on the fall.
7.
7, yeah. So as you stomp down, you go to jump to the ground, and your foot's kind of caught in the vine, and you take just 1 bludgeoning damage as you kind of trip and fall, but manage to catch yourself coming off. So you're gonna kind of come off
How
to the
you
side.
doing?
Getting close.
All right.
You psycho.
Cyrus is like, he hasn't seen like the.
Cyrus, I feel like it's so useless.
Cyrus hasn't seen Dubravko's brother like move in a while, so he's like getting a little agitated. He hasn't seen like a bulb pop in a little bit, but he stays there ready to go. All right, so the plant creatures down here. The little ones are going to go first.
Yeah.
This little one's going to attack you. This little one's going to move and attack you. So first, Safira, 19 to hit.
19 hits.
You take 3 bludgeoning damage. Oh, piercing damage as the thorn kind of juts out. So it stabs you. And
Oh, wait.
3 to hit. Yeah, misses. So the second one kind of comes up and sort of stabs, and it's kind of short, and it comes like out through your legs, and you see it, and you kind of hop out of the way. Okay, so the bigger ones. This one, having stomped on its head, is going to take a swing at you. Sure.
Sure, I understand.
15 to hit.
Hit.
15 hits. Great.
Jesus Christ, please don't.
You take 3 bludgeoning damage.
Yes.
Is that 0?
Yeah.
So it takes a swipe, and it hits you, and you kind of go a little limp and hit the side of the wall. And out from your belt, you hear a sort of crackling noise, and a sort of like a crashing, and your tonic breaks. So you have this tonic on your belt, and the energy in the water from the tonic kind of gives you one last breath.
What is this
God.
tonic?
And you're left on 1 hit point, but you are still conscious.
Oh my god. You better survive. We gotta get across that thing.
And then this creature is too big to get to you guys, so it's gonna sit there and kind of make noises and be angry. It's kind of back up to the top.
Have the lineup, let's go.
At the risk of repeating himself, Erland 2 hands just takes another.
Takes a big swing. Go for it.
Hey,
19 hits. Roll for damage.
Where's my
Just
D8?
kidding. 19 misses.
You know what?
He's an armor
where's
class
the D8?
25.
Here it is.
It's a
Right there.
double pyramid.
Yeah, I just find it. So that is 6.
6 damage.
There
Great.
you go.
So you take a good whack, and it hits the vine. I mean, this creature, it's kind of slowing down a little bit. So it tries to like pick up one of its limbs, and it kind of, some of the vines slide off, and it reaches down to like gather itself back up, but it looks hurt.
But it still seems like it can continue making the 2 attacks it's been making.
Yes, it
Okay.
seems still operational, if not.
Alright, gonna, after the strike, I'm gonna go right back in my patient defense for
Great.
another key point.
Great, patient defense. Excellent. All right, Safira, what you got?
I'm gonna take my longbow and aim right for the bulb.
Nice.
Make your shot.
The hell is it?
20.
20 hits.
Yeah!
The arrow kind of goes across the cavern, and you kind of. What is your dark vision range?
60 feet.
Oh, okay, so you can still see it. It kind of like goes into the dim lighting on the other side of the room, and you hear like a pop, and the
Ugh!
bulb pops on the other end. And you hear it pop, and the blood spills.
The floor is bloody.
Um,
downstairs.
Where is Ravi?
On the other side of this creature. It's even hard to see him from where you are. You're looking
But
through
I saw
this. Yeah, you saw him
presumably-
come down. Yes, you know he's
Come
over
down.
there. Yep.
Can I run past the creature? I'll still be in his range, but to like in front of Ravi.
This is a hole. Remember that you jumped over, so you cannot run through there.
Can I jump over it again?
You would be jumping into his space, which you can't really do. You would jump and kind of crash into him.
Is there any way that I can kind of make myself a human shield between him and these creatures?
No.
There literally is
I
not.
mean, there isn't space for you anywhere over there. He's
If
pretty surrounded.
If I run away from them, that can I kind of goad them? I don't have any.
You don't know that for sure, but maybe.
Okay. Can I kind of like click my bow against my
Sure, you can make a
and just
significant
as I
amount
kind of
noise.
like run?
Make a performance check as you're doing that.
Okay.
As you try to sort of gather its attention.
This has never gone well for me before.
Hey!
What was that when you were kissing Steve?
Yeah, 16.
16. I mean,
Wait.
you're
19.
I really should be watching over your shoulder.
Oh,
more
I'm sorry,
often.
I've nearly done something like that tonight.
You caught
Right.
yourself.
I mean,
every
as you're
time.
running, you're making a significant amount of noise, and in the darkness, it does seem like the creatures are somewhat responding to them. I mean, a couple of the plants kind of sort of
Okay,
look in
good.
your.
So I'm
you don't
gonna
know for
try to
sure.
take
So where
them
are you
into
running?
this corner.
Okay.
Oh.
Like over here?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So 2 of those are going to get attacks of opportunity. The small one first. 13 to hit. Misses. So he's vine, and then the big one, 16 to hit.
Hits.
16 hits. You take 6 damage, bludgeoning damage, as it sort of sends out a vine that whacks you on the way by.
Okay.
Great.
Monster.
A monster. Great, so it's kind of like shambling and some of its vines it's shaking loose some of the blows that it's taken. And it's going to take a double attack against Erland here.
Oh, golly.
14 to hit. 14 misses. So the first vine, and with his sort of monk energy, kind of dodges the first attack. And the second one, 15 to hit.
If it's the same, does it
It
hit?
hits, yeah. So 15 is great. So you take 5 damage, 5 bludgeoning damage.
It's a document.
50, yep.
50 damage. Yeah, it gives you a good sort of slam against the wall, and it is going to attempt to grapple you. So make a acrobatics or athletics.
Does the dodge attack help in any way with that?
It does not. No. Great. So that's not an attack.
What is an athletics?
What is this?
Or
device?
acrobatics.
We're getting rid of
Acrobatics.
this
7. So it does manage to wrap its vines around. It doesn't do additional damage, but it's got you held there at the moment, so you're not able to move.
Well, I've rolled badly with both dice.
Oh, okay.
Super clear.
Sure. Well then.
That's me.
It's bulb time.
It's bulb time, baby.
Bulb time. Okay, move me as close as I can.
You're up next to it.
Okay.
Yep. Make an attack roll.
Come on.
Let's go, baby.
I hope they all collapse at this moment, otherwise we're in some deep shit.
15.
15. So you swing the flail around, and you bring it down on the bulb, and then you hear a sort of sticking, and it bursts, and it sends blood flying. And these vines start to wither and fall against the walls of the cavern.
Oh my god, thank the Lord.
But the main creature stays up.
Damn you.
So at the bottom, it's now sort of still and quiet. You hear a little bit of the din above you, and it's dark down here. You both have dark vision. You both have.
Cyrus?
Yes,
What's it look like up there?
I've got him.
Is he alive?
He can't hear. You're all the way down at the bottom.
Oh shit.
He's alive.
He is. Quick, as soon as you can.
The vines they're not red anymore.
They're not red. That's as much as you can talk. Sort of in the middle of this.
Gotcha.
And we go back up to Erland. The creature is still up. The little ones.
No,
Have,
you're still up.
No, we got
Bizarre
oh, who
just
was
had
that?
it.
Oh, that was Beezaura. Oh, I was
wait,
talking.
trying to skip
I was
Should
I
talking
move?
as Cyrus.
Should I move?
You can attack the creature, or the vines are still attached from floor to ceiling. You could start to climb up. I mean, the creature is still there, just not the little ones.
I would just have to move. I can't attack him again.
You can't
Alright.
attack again. You made an attack this turn. Yeah.
Should I start to go up? No. You want me to go up?
No!
I don't know.
Says Erland, struggling.
Yeah, he's wrapped up.
Okay,
That's
fine.
all you can kind of say.
I'll stay.
Okay, you stay down here. Great. Awesome. Orba, you're up.
Okay, let's do this. Orba puts her palm out in the
Finish
air.
him.
And she casts. Chill touch.
Great.
So she makes her hand go. Okay. Can
Or you
I
make the
focus
sort of-
it on a part that's grappling him to like see if it snaps?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it wouldn't release a grapple
Okay.
with an attack like that.
Chill touch.
Yeah, great.
There we go.
Make an attack roll.
Come on.
I feel like this is a miss coming.
9.
Misses. So you cast the spell, but it kind of slinks. It sort of gets low to the ground as the hand sort of appears, and it dodges out of the way of the
Orba
spell.
gets really frustrated and says, "You know what? I can't deal with this anymore. Somebody else do this."
Great. Bravko, you're up.
I'm gonna go back up to the second level.
Great. So there are some vines along the walls that you can start to climb up. Make an athletics check to see if you can climb up the walls.
10.
10. Okay, so you are able to, hoist yourself up. It's going to take, we'll say it takes about 15 feet of movement, but you do get up there. Yeah, you hoist yourself up to the second floor.
And then can I use my take no prisoners to free Erland?
Yeah, what is it? Read the description of
If
that.
a creature within attack
What?
range
This
of your
guy is
weapon attempts to
crazy.
grapple or restrain an ally, you may use a reaction to make an attack against that creature. If your attack hits, the creature automatically fails to grapple or restrain the ally.
Great, so make an attack roll against the creature.
24.
24 hits, roll for damage. And as you slice the vine that's sort of reaching out to
3d10.
Erland.
Oh.
Yeah.
3d10?
3d10?
Yeah.
No.
The hit dice.
Yeah.
No. Next to your weapon.
What is my weapon?
Yeah.
Oh, 1d6 plus 2.
1d6 plus 2. Yeah.
I was about to be like, alright, we're never leaving.
Regular die.
The best short sword
Regular
ever. Yeah. So just a regular die
Can you
plus 2.
imagine?
Ghostbusters.
Hey, Anthony,
What is
what
that?
does Ghostbusters mean? Is it a
I don't
6
know.
or
Is
is
it
it
a
a
6 or
1?
what?
Here, wait,
Anthony!
just roll
Use
this.
a regular d6.
But wait, that was a good roll. I think that was a 6.
3.
3. Great.
I think that was a
Anthony,
I think it might have been a
your
1.
Ghostbuster die
No,
just
there was a 1 on
walked
the other
out.
side of it.
Yeah, I think that was
Was
a
it
6.
actually a 6?
I think
We'll
it
give
was
it
a
the 6.
six.
We'll give it the
Yes.
6.
It's
All right. So
a
6 plus 8 damage.
We could have just
Calm.
we could have just looked and saw which number
Great.
was
So
missing.
you do 8 damage, and it kind of cuts, and in doing so, the vine sort of snaps free, and Erland becomes unrestrained.
Based on our conversation we had earlier, I give him a smile and a nod and go face back to the monster.
Great.
Yeah.
And the monsters, it's not down, but it's looking pretty rough there. So as Cyrus, you can hear him calling down to you. Should I take your brother across?
Oh yeah, yeah. Ooh.
Is he awake? Can he move?
He's limp at the moment. You can't have like a whole conversation, but he's waiting for your command.
think it'd
Transport
be
him
worth it.
across. He's too weak.
Will do. And he sort of takes, and you hear above you kind of go in 2 different
Sick.
locations. And he's,
did it?
you can't see this, but he's teleporting across
Woo!
the other side.
Orba's jealous.
Erland, you're up.
If I pass him something, can he use it in that moment, or do I have to wait for his turn? Say a healing potion.
He would have to use it on his
I
turn.
have to use it on his turn.
Yes.
In that case, oh man. And if I use a healing potion, is that an action?
Yes, to drink.
But then I can still use key points to do further actions, correct?
If it's a bonus action, yeah, that's
Okay.
separate from an action. Yeah.
He's looking not so great. Okay. And how many? And sorry, how many D? What's the minor healing potion
I think
heal?
it's like something. 2d4 plus 2.
2d4 plus 2.
Yep.
Great. I'm gonna drink my healing.
Great. So Erland sort of takes from his belt, pops it open, drinks it.
Selfish.
4,
Another one.
That's the weird die.
5 plus. Sorry, 4. I got 4 and a 1, so 5
7 total.
So 7
Plus 2, yeah, so 7. Great. So you heal 7 hit points. Great.
Okay, great.
Erland
And
sort of with some renewed energy.
now I am going to use my final key point to use Flurry of Blows.
Great. So after drinking the healing potion, he sort of goes back into stance and.
And these are unarmed strikes.
Great.
So,
And how many do you make?
So I make 2.
2 unarmed
You
strikes.
can spend 1 key point to make 2 unarmed strike as a bonus action.
Great. Go ahead.
Great. So 15 to hit.
15 hits, damage.
Great. So 1d4. So stuff happens here that I don't know yet. So it's I do 5 damage.
Great.
And when you hit a creature with one of the attacks from Flurry of Blows, because I'm open hand technique,
Mhm.
you can impose one of the following effects. What does being knocked prone do?
For this creature is immune to prone. I'll just tell you that.
Okay,
It's a
great.
mound of plants, so it can't be prone.
Okay, great. If it 15 feet, it can either be knocked 15 feet away from me, or it can't take reactions until the end of next turn. So reactions would be like
Attacks of opportunity are reactions. It would not be able to take an attack of opportunity.
Great. So I'm gonna have it not take a reaction on its next turn.
Great. So you hit it with the strike, and you kind of this reverberation through the creature kind of rattles it a little bit, and it has sort of a slowed reflexes kind
And
of
this,
effect.
and this is my
And your second attack.
13 to
Oh,
hit.
one arm rolling. 13 hits. Roll for damage.
Yes. Come on, man.
4
last
damage.
4. More. All right. Show us how it's done here, Erland.
So with the second attack, I'm gonna sort of with an open fist hit it like this, and because I'm open hand, it's gonna fly back 15, or it's gonna like grind into the ground 15 feet, and I'm just gonna sort of hold it there until it sort of crumbles and the vines disintegrate.
Oh!
And then I gotta close my eyes,
You pulled
exhale, and
through.
stand back up and put the
You
quarterstaff
pulled
away.
through.
And the creature
I was a
sort
little
of falls
skeptical.
apart, and the vines begin to crumple.
Woo! Let's get out of this joint.
And we'll go back to
Let's blow this
non-battle mode. All right.
Let's set the place on fire.
You guys are here. Everyone but Safira, sort of on the second level. Safira, what are you doing here?
Can I climb up?
Yeah, make an athletics check as you're sort of making your way back up.
She gets stuck down there forever.
11.
11, great. So you are able, I mean, you slowly make your way up. It's a little more difficult down here because the vines aren't as thick, but you climb your way up and you make your way back up. Yeah, we don't have to keep, it's just visual. This guy's dead.
See ya.
So you guys are here.
So
I think
can
we should all just go back
all
up.
go up?
Get out of
Get
here.
out of
I
here.
start kind of
Great.
Well, we should walk to the end of the
Yes.
This
Yeah.
end.
end first, and then
Yeah,
climb.
very
Great.
Let's do it.
Great. So
As
you
we
guys
go
all sort
by,
of quickly
can I just keep an eye on the floor to see if there's any like weird valuables or anything?
Sure, make an investigation check.
I should have gone. I should have taken some of the gold from there.
Ah, you were busy. Investigation 13.
13. I mean, you take a look around here, and unless you wanted to grab some of the plants, there doesn't seem to be anything. It seemed like all the physical items were
Want
down.
to decorate your home?
Yeah, can I grab like a flower?
Sure.
Okay.
There's flowers of many colors and varieties.
Is there a purple one?
Yep.
Can I grab a purple flower?
Grab a purple
Can you
flower.
grab me a yellow one?
I'm not taking requests.
Orba picks one, picks another one. Right, you grab a flower on your way, and you guys
Okay.
make your way to the end, and you start to make your way up out of the thing. Everybody, athletic checks all around.
Oh my god, you
It's a group effort.
Back to my usual net one.
Okay, 1 second. Athletics, right?
Yeah. athletic.
6. I'm tired.
12.
Athletic. 15.
15. Okay.
7.
7. I mean, you guys, it takes a little bit of effort. Some of the vines are loose now. It seems like this place has lost some of its sort of vigor, and the vines aren't as hard. But you guys slowly make your way up out, and Cyrus is up at the top, and he's sort of helping people, pulling them up as they come out, and he manages to go.
Oh my god.
Is he awake? Is he okay?
And he brings you over, and you see him on the ground, and the red vines have fallen away from his mouth. He's sort of bleeding around the lips and the mouth.
He's breathing. I'm afraid that's all the good news I have at the moment.
At least he's alive.
We should get him back so that we can get the
Is there
medical
a
attention.
medic of some kind at the camp?
There will be at the camp, yes.
Yes.
Let's get him back.
Let's make our way back.
Let's do that.
And he sort of
Can
picks
I
him up.
kind of help him?
Yeah, the two
carry?
of you. I mean, you're sort of giving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of, you guys are making your way through.
Based on everything we did, does it seem like, are we still seeing like the magically things that we sort of saw on the way, and are there bubbles and
Make a
stuff?
perception check.
Perception 9.
9. You take a look around, and again, they didn't happen super frequently, but you don't notice any of the pulsing in the ground that you saw before at the moment.
I hate to bring it up, but since we're on our way back, you'll help us go through the checkpoint.
Yes. We will.
What did we promise them?
I told them in exchange for their help we could get them through the checkpoint.
See what we can do.
Look, there might still be men, presumably alive, back there. You'll need to convince your captain to send people here to find out what happened.
I think when he sees a few men return, he might be willing to send some out.
Well,
Good.
he
Bell's
should be
Wiles.
if he's a man of his word.
Bellswell's tough, but he's not a man to throw good money after bad, if you understand what I mean. But if he comes back and sees survivors, he may be willing to send out an additional party. Especially if we're able to convince him that we were able to at least extinguish some of the threat.
Good. Let's hurry back.
Am I a tiefling again?
Yeah, at this point, you definitely are.
Hey.
Are you surprised, really, though?
I mean,
It probably happened.
Okay.
It probably happened down when you were in there. So you pop back up, and Cyrus kind of like doesn't recognize you.
That's pretty good, right?
Magical disguises, not unknown to me.
True.
Okay.
Shall we?
Yes, can we go back? Because I would really like to get back to our Goliath friend, please.
Right. You guys are sort of quickly making your way out. You navigate your way back through.
Do we find the horses?
You haven't gotten back there yet. Who's leading the way here?
Well,
Sure.
Ravi.
whoever's probably carrying the body, we're all.
Sure. Yeah. Perception checks for the two of you.
3. Please
10.
perceive
10.
something.
Great. So as you guys are sort of moving back through, not a lot has changed, but it seems a little quieter. It seems a little. The woods are less perturbed. There's a little less sort of wind moving through the ravine. Things have stilled a little bit. And you guys make your way, and you've now sort of made your way past where you guys dug up the upper sort of torsos of the 3 people there in the ground. And Cyrus kind of regards them as he goes by. We'll have to get them to come back. Dig them up.
Do they look any different?
They look the same.
We will send them back for them.
For whatever reason, your brother was chosen. Lucky for him, not so lucky for them.
Yes.
Perhaps not lucky for him if we hadn't arrived in time.
And he continues to move along. You guys make your way back up the ravine. It's a little bit of a struggle. You're carrying a man with you, but you slowly kind of pull yourself up. You make your way back. The horses are still there. Then you tied them up to some of the trees there. They're still there.
We
Good
get on
thing.
the horses.
Sure. And you guys, and you sort of like drape your brother's body over the back of your horse.
Cyrus, you want to ride with me?
That would be excellent. Thank you. He sort of hops up behind you there on the horse. You guys start to make your way back. You do, and you ride through, and you make your way back to the checkpoint. And it doesn't seem like much has changed. I mean, no one had reported back at this point, so the sort of it even has gotten a little bigger. So where your wagon used to be sort of on the outer rim of this crowd, it's now kind of in the middle. The crowd's gotten bigger and bigger as they're all kind of waiting at this checkpoint. You guys make your way back in. Where are you headed?
Look, he needs to get to a medic, so wherever the medic's tent is, I want to head with
You
the
guys
bot.
kind of ride up to sort of the front area, and Cyrus is kind of waving men out, make way, make room! And people are sort of darting out of the way. He's got the horse is kind of trotting through, and you make your way to the front. And Bellswile sitting there, still sort of just kind of chatting with friends. He's sort of got a mug in his hand, and he looks up and sees the two of you. What is going on here?
Captain, our men were taken by something in that forest. We have 3 men buried in the ground. They may still be alive. We need to send the rest of the regiment to go check on them now.
Get that man in a medical tent. He points at your brother. I mean, he's a soldier. He sees the fallen soldier. And a couple of the men sort of get up quickly and they knock a few things over and they go over to your brother and they kind of gently take him off and they carry him into what looks to be a medical tent that's aiding, some of the other people in there.
I'm going to require an explanation from you later. What am I sending my men out to there? If I send another team, how many men do I need?
Everyone we have left.
Look, it appears that it's possible that whatever was possessing
Who
this
is
forest-
this?
This is...
You remember me, don't you, from our charming conversation where I tried to
Oh
get
yes,
you to...
I remember every conversation with every civilian who tries to come through
Well,
here.
I helped him, so I might have information that's pertinent to you if you'd like to listen.
These people can be trusted. They helped me. Without them, my brother would be dead.
What? How many men do we need?
There seemed to be some kind of a system, almost like arteries, like the forest itself was alive. I think that we may have destroyed it. I'm not 100% sure. I couldn't be certain. If you have any soldiers that practice magic, they should go.
And he turns to one of the men. Get the mages. And some of the men kind of scuffle off. And some of the men start to attack horses, get ready to go. Are you going to stay here with your brother? Or would you like to show us the way?
I'd like to stay with my brother. And someone should stay behind to guard the checkpoint. Someone you can trust.
Very well. Get Preston to take charge of the checkpoint. Cyrus? Yes? He sort of wanders. I need someone to show me what we're looking at. I'll go. I thank you, all of you. Wish us luck. And he sort of steps back onto his own horse now that he's sort of found on the side there. He sort of pulls himself up.
Can I just say that as soon as we reached the
Yeah.
checkpoint area, Orba slipped off the horse and ran to Graven.
Sure, you didn't come with them
Nope.
to this mate. Sure, yeah.
Ran
that's
right to
fine,
Graven.
yeah, definitely. And Bellswile himself and a couple of the other men start to ride, and as they're sort of riding out, they see Preston, who is guarding their wagon, and you see him say something to him, and Preston makes his way over.
Did you find him?
We did.
And?
He is alive. For now. The medic is looking at him now. We hope he will make it.
And the others?
We don't know. We found 3 of them, but we are not sure if they are alive or dead.
Very well.
More probably they're dead.
Let's start moving people through this checkpoint. We'll start with the people at the front. We'll work our way to the back. Right?
Excuse me. We had a little bit of a promise.
Look, we're in the front of the line, yeah?
Excuse me.
And he looks to you.
I did tell these people we would promise them expedited passage through the checkpoint. They helped me save my brother's life. Can we send them through first?
And he sort of looks around. He sees that Bellswile's ridden off.
Be quick about it. Tack your horses and get up here.
You got it, mate.
Make room, make room. And he starts to like make a little path. And we'll head over to the wagon. Orba's headed over there. I mean, you see them coming. Yeah.
Okay, well, can I just jump right into the back and check on Graven?
Sure.
Is he okay?
He's asleep. Nothing has happened to him as far as you
Snoozing?
can tell. Yeah.
Oh, Orba gives him another hug.
Hurry up and
make
tack up the
make a
horses.
perception check as well.
Okay. Excuse me. 4.
The only thing you notice, the blankets seem to have shifted a little bit, and as you sort of peek under the blankets, you see a little bit of bruising around his arms, as if he
Oh my god, did he?
pulled against, but he wasn't able to break the restraints. But it looks like he pulled against them. But he's sleeping still, or unconscious still at the moment.
Okay, yep, Orba's gonna cover him back up, just tuck him in real tight, and put his bag next to him again. And
Great, and then you guys arrive at the
Yeah.
carriage.
And we're with Preston at this moment, yeah?
At the
Preston's
yeah,
at- yeah.
or you guys are headed to the carriage.
Yeah.
But like Preston, the guy who was guarding our carriage,
Yes.
was with us, right?
Mhm.
He's at the front.
He's now waiting at the front.
No, I would just. I wanted to ask him.
Sure,
Was there any trouble in our carriage?
Nothing that I saw. A little bit of noise came from the inside, but it was very brief.
You know how drunken sleeps can be.
Yeah,
Thank you, friend.
of course.
Let's hurry up and get the horses on so we can get out of here, please.
Yeah,
Flip
I
him the
agree.
silver.
Sure, yeah.
Thank you.
He sort of pockets it.
Tie the horses, so.
Yeah, I'm kind of.
Make an animal handling check, the two of you. You can take the higher of the two of
sad.
you.
What did you get? Because mine's sad.
15.
Great. So you're able to very quickly, the two of you kind of expertly knowing, you kind of hook them up to the wagon tongue and sort of lift it up, and he begins to, yeah, you guys can...
We ready to get a move on?
yes, please, let's go.
The Grovkos walked back with us, or?
I think you were at the tent. You didn't come with them. Yeah, you're sort of
with his
waiting.
brother.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's back.
So I guess I hop in the carriage.
Great.
Let's
and
go.
And Preston's made a little path for you guys to sort of make your way through. And you can hear some of the grumbling from the people around you.
As we're sort of exiting, whoever, are you guys in front driving?
Yeah.
Same as before? Just slow down for a moment, slow down.
Okay, so I can.
You guys sort of move through the checkpoint
And
slowly.
just sort of, I want to like look out the window.
Yeah, and
make
you
sure I see
you're moving
them.
very slowly, and you can see them as they sort of...
And like, I just want to extend an arm out the window and give him a handshake.
Thank you, all of you, for your help. Hopefully my brother will live.
Best of luck.
Yes, good luck. Thank you very much.
Whatever your names are, I wish you the best.
You're funny.
And then in Elven, as we go away, I say, "You're a good man. Thank you."
And you see Dubravko retreat back into the tent to look over his brother. And the wagon starts to move through the checkpoint, and people sort of wave you through. And that's where we're going to end.
Oh my goodness gracious.
We
Yay!
did it.
Thank you so much, Billy.
Oh my
I
god!
was touching out there for a second.
Hope you had a good time. It was terrific. What a great time. Thank you guys for joining us watching, whoever's still watching at this point. We ran a little over time because we were in the middle of a big fight.
Yes, thanks everyone for tuning in.
We'll be here next week. So we'll be back.
Happy
The story
Labor Day.
continues. Graven will be back.
Next week.
Happy Labor Day. And that's it. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Have
you.
a good night.
Good night. Yay!